us. It's about the chat. Okay.
It's about the people. We're doing it for the audience, right?
Yeah. It's all about the entertainment.
Oh yeah. People follow me on Twitter, so I'm like, I made it in.
Closing.
You know.
I made it in. I got through the door.
I think we got it in.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. Here we go. Welcome,
Chat
my friends,
you, bro.
my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend, these YouTube streets, Puerto77. I'm coming in here with the crew, back with another episode of 60 Frames Don't Like podcast. You know, got some great topics, and of course, I got the killers, the heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? Here with the crew, ready to talk their points and stuff. Let's get the crew going. Yo, what's up? Call me Jay. What's going on?
Hey man, ready to praise Xbox, all right?
Oh,
shit. The best box.
Oh, it's your turn to be an Xbox this week? Because last week was extreme.
I like this. Last week was me.
You gotta rotate. Because you can only do it for so long, because then you might get like dementia.
Listen.
You can only dip in the pool for so long. Yeah,
it's hazardous work environment. Let me tell you.
you know, it's like working in a nuclear power plant. You can only stay in a radiation chamber for so long.
Exactly. You got half an hour in there, man. Then you get the fuck out. No matter what happens, you get the fuck out.
Gotta rotate. So how you been, Jay?
I've been good.
Right.
Same old. You know, work, gaming, and taking care of family as much as I can. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry to cut you off, call me Jay, but as an Xbox this week, you can't be gaming. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Yeah. Shit.
You know, you have to catch up on your CMA paperwork. How many papers have you read this week?
Man.
Are you behind?
Listen, man.
Microsoft has 2 million documents. Get to it.
As a representative of the Xbots, we don't read, so that's not our thing.
God damn. Microsoft wrote 2 million documents. They're not gonna read themselves.
Listen, if you're gonna be the Xbox this week, we gotta check. Gotta give you a questionnaire. How much of a dealer gaming have you been listening to? Colt Eastwood. How much of that's been in your diet lately? You know.
Oh man. All right. It's good to hear from you, Jay. Messiah, Craig, top flight secure the world.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Yo, what's this nonsense about RDNA 3? What are you doing on Twitter?
I'm telling the truth.
You telling the truth. I have a question. You know what? I gotta ask you a question about that. I'm gonna ask you a question, but we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it for later.
Oh, well, I'll only be here for about an hour. So.
But that's okay. Yeah, that's about time. Yeah. I mean, shit. Most of our topics suck on this show anyway. So.
Okay.
I'm just playing. How you been, brother? How's everything?
I can't complain.
How's the new job? You say you got a new job, right?
Yeah. This working, trying to learn that new operating system and boarding and rooming patients, all that stuff.
Okay.
You know, that's all these 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 medications are crazy trying to pronounce that stuff.
Okay. But it's working out. Good decision.
Yeah, so far. Yeah. I feel it's a good decision. Yeah. It's the right decision.
Now you might figure out what a 56 CU is in this new area.
I could, yeah. I mean, ask one of those doctors.
Yeah, that's the doctors. They're gonna be, I don't know. All right, okay. E4 Extreme.
Hey
from
guys,
down
how
under.
You doing?
You know,
hey, how you doing?
Right now he's enjoying winter over there. He's celebrating.
It's actually like, what is it? It's after summer. It's what, autumn?
Yeah. So it's autumn for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Or is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right?
Like, this just blows my mind. It's just like, I don't know.
Listen, I live in Melbourne, and they say over here that you can have 4 seasons in one day. Yeah. So like 2 days ago it was like 37 degrees. Yeah. Now it's like 22. So I can't even keep up. But I'm good.
Okay. Do you guys use Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius, of course. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? He's like, Fahrenheit don't make sense, right?
It don't make sense. Like Celsius based on water, again, perfect.
Yeah, I guess. You know what it is? Is that because to be no, I'm not even gonna get into it. I have no idea why we use Fahrenheit. My only guess is maybe because I don't fucking know. Maybe because America. No, that's why.
No. Fahrenheit is based on the human body. So
I think that's probably
it. Is the normal temperature of the human body.
So maybe we're trying to relate to body temperature. So like if it's 90 degrees outside, I don't fucking know, to be honest. I honestly don't know.
It's a bad measure. But that's why I realized why you have the saying "keep it 100." Because I was always like,
I'm gonna be honest.
Keep it at 100. That boils blood.
I'm gonna be honest though. When you guys say, "Oh, it's like 28 degrees outside," in Celsius. Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'm like I know what 95 degrees mean. It's hot as fuck. It's when I hear it's 29 degrees, I'm like, yeah, is that hot? Is that cold? Like, I don't know what that means.
The thing is that sometimes when you translate from Celsius to Fahrenheit, let's say it's like 30 right now, right? I think 30 Celsius is like 90 Fahrenheit. If you go to 31 Celsius, it's not 91 Fahrenheit. It's like some other number. It's something weird like
that. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, like somebody comes out, it's 30 degrees outside. I'm like if I hear on the phone, fuck, it's 30 degrees outside. And I'm like, is that hot? Is that cold? Like, I'm not sure.
Do you know what's fucked up? What? If you go to -40 Fahrenheit, it's the same in Celsius, like exactly the same.
Well, at a certain point,
if you go far enough,
at a certain point, cold is cold. At a certain point,
at a certain point,
you're freezing your ass
off. It's -40.
At a certain point, hey, you just freezing your ass off. That's it. There ain't no number that's gonna explain to that. All right, man. All right, thank you guys for coming here. And to the chat, who we got here? We got so many members up here. Brian East, Carol Anchor up here. Spider Silver, what's going on? Jackknife. Who else? We got Mary Wilcox. Thank you for showing up. We got NIKU. Yes, I spelled it because my pronunciation, who knows, would have been spooky. Would have been shaky. Could have got me canceled. What are you trying to do here? Y'all trying to set me up? But thank you for being here. Zero Steel, what's up? Who else we got up here? Sergeant 12. What's going on, brother? Who's that? Going down the list, you know what I'm saying? Here we go. Oh man, y'all were chatting up a storm up in here. J1, here you go. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is the real deal, most definitely. He's saying Starfield, however, is going down like the prison jail cell of Donald J. Trump. Oh shit. That's fucked up, bro. Golly, man. Oh no. Cryptopsy, there you go. My man's out here. Thank you so much for showing up. Who else we got? That's VC. What up? You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Kratos99, of course, always up in here. You know, Amanda Pemberton. You British, Amanda? That sounds like a British name. Is that a British name? She sounds like part of the royal family. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. The royal family checking me out. You know what I'm saying? 60 frames, no laggers. Yeah, we going places. We got the royal family checking us out.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Sleepy Lights, what's up? Blaze, Ernie, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, Blaze, if you can, hop on, dude. Got some PlayStation topics I need your opinions on. Leech, $13.99, of course. Amanda Pemberton's like, nope, hell nah. Amanda's like, yo, I'm down with the hood. What you talking about? I keep it gully. Oh, shit. You got Phillip, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Alan, what's up? She's like, nuh-uh. No, but thank you so much, Amanda. I truly appreciate it. So yo, everybody's rocking out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the first topic. All right. You're down with NFT? Nah, I'm not gonna say you're new.
No,
right?
Yo, thanks.
All right. So this is what we're gonna talk about. So let me show y'all. You know, I just wanna share my screen so I could show y'all something. Because this is.
You got two monitors?
I got two monitors. I got this. I got my laptop, and then I got my other one on TV.
Yeah, I noticed you looking to the left. Like, hey,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I'm looking at the chat this way.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me share my screen. Okay.
Bro, I love NFTs.
Okay. Amazing. So right here. So look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna wait a few seconds so the chat can catch up. Look at this trash. Square Enix. Yo, I don't know, man. I'm really nervous about Square Enix, bro. Shout out to Eastern Conference Gaming. That's what I'm talking about. The Beast of the East. All right, here we go. Look at this.
I can't hear anything. I can't hear.
Symbiogenesis.
It's just techno music, honestly, showing a map.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's just like a map, some techno music. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? P-Rock, you want to clap Abby? No! Oh man, see, man, they twisted my thinking. All right, so let me tell you a story about that. Let me tell you what happened. This is what happened. So yesterday I was on Z's show. 4K? I was on Z's show yesterday, right? I was on Z's show, right? For smoking. I was on Z's show, right? And we would just, chatting it up. You know how we do it, right? And I was talking that I'm trying to be an actor. I'm bullshitting, obviously. But I'm like, I'm out here in Hollywood. I'm trying to be an actor. I'm trying to get on The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Blame you.
Well, not for real, bro. But I'm joking, right? But I said I want to be the guy who got Ellie's girlfriend pregnant.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy I want to roll. I don't know how it came to clapping Abby. She too diesel for me, bro. She too diesel for me. She too big.
Wait, so they ask you like if you could be a character, which one would it be?
No. I just brought that up as a joke.
Oh, I
said I'm trying to get to Hollywood. I'm trying to get the role, and as a joke, I'm trying to get the role of the guy in the game. If you played The Last of Us 2, Ellie's girlfriend's pregnant. Ellie's, yeah.
You
know what I'm saying?
Some of those guys,
you put a little makeup, I could look Asian. I mean, shit.
Man.
Yeah, I'll put on the paper. It's Hollywood. I identify as Asian.
It is. It's not real.
It's Hollywood.
Life.
It's Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? I could look Vietnamese. Whatever. I'm trying to play the role. Whatever it takes. I'm trying to get a job here.
You can look Asian just as long as you don't look yourself in the mirror.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look at Bella Ramsey. I'm like, what are we doing here? You trying to take my kid to fight the Firefly? She pregnant. What's wrong with you? Man, you don't get your ass out of here,
bro. Some of the deaths in that game were so just out of nowhere. It's crazy that they did that.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes they give death purpose, but here's what was that noise? Opens the door, dies. What the fuck, bro?
They need to rewrite the character and make him Puerto Rican instead of Asian. You know what I'm saying? Because then it'll be more fun. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. If it was let's say if they rewrite the character, right? Whoever the boyfriend that got, the girl pregnant. He's Puerto Rican, right?
He wouldn't have died.
It's a totally different. It's a totally different scene now. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the girl coming up to you and be like, "I know I'm having your baby, but I'm going with Ellie to fight the Fireflies." I would be like, "¿Y qué carajo tú estás hablando, mujer, bro? Bro, tú estás loca. Get the fuck out of here, get your ass in the kitchen. I ain't trying to hear this shit." You know what I'm saying? Totally different scene. Totally different scene. I mean,
that's funny.
I think it would be funny as hell. Imagine a Puerto Rican, you're telling a Puerto Rican father that you're about to fight the Fireflies while having his baby. What? Have you not seen the dudes head get bashed in with a golf club? Why if you don't get your ass out of here with that bullshit?
Dude, I've been wanting that. I've been wanting that so bad in the game. All these games trying to be all trying to represent and shit. It's why don't you have a Puerto Rican in there?
We got Miles, but Miles is kind of like the upper side of Queens, Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but I want to see a character like in Need for Speed, the new one. They have multiple characters with personalities. Why don't they got a Puerto Rican being like, "Mira, cabrón"?
Yeah, we need what I'm saying? We need a Bad Bunny type, a Hibaro.
Yeah, we need
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We need a ghetto Puerto Rican in the game talking shit. GTA 4 had that. They got freaking New Yorkers be like, "Mama huevo, cabrón," and shit.
Dina, that was the girl's name. Yeah. I'm trying to be her man in the show.
Oh, Dina.
Let me do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Why that guy say Abby then?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. No, because Z tricked the whole shit up. I'm like, what the fuck happened? How did this came to Abby? How Abby came into this?
An Abby smash.
Yeah, the guy's name is Jesse. There you go. That's his name, Jesse. I'm trying to play the role of Jesse.
Yeah, didn't Abby get smashed in that game?
Yeah.
So I think
she definitely found 56 CUs.
She may have, that's right. She did. Yeah, I remember. She did find the 56 CU. Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Porter, I know you read my message on Twitter.
I ain't read shit, man. I got you on mute, bro. Now, anyway, let's back to NFTs. So we just see this video. We have no idea I hate teasers that don't really do nothing other than that it exists, right? But let me start this. Who wants to pop off with this NFT? Who really is so far adamant against NFTs?
All right, two things.
All right, call me Jay.
First of all, teasers fucking suck, dude. I'm so it's how many generations are we gonna go by with consoles and PCs and they're gonna still do teasers? We're at the point where so many games come out Like, why are you teasing? Just show the game. Like God of War, it was like when God of War was shown, we thought it was fucking Horizon for a second, and then boom, no, it was actually God of War. It's coming out soon. Like, I'm tired of teasers. So that's that. And as for NFTs, like, there's so many companies last year specifically that were trying so hard to push NFTs, and they failed, or others saw the backlash and they were like, oh shit. Ubisoft was one of them pushing NFTs and shit, and they literally reposted the video multiple times because it was getting disliked, bombed by everybody. I'm so glad that the gaming community, for the most part, are 100% against NFTs because it's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. All the talking points that the NFT bros bring up about how, you can buy a skin in Fortnite, and if Fortnite 2 ever comes out or something, you can have it there. Or if you buy a skin on The Last of Us, you can use it on Spider-Man. You know how much time that would take for the developers of Insomniac to take that from Naughty Dog and then make that work on their game? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. It's so stupid. And Square Enix, I don't know who the hell is like brainwashing them over there to make the stupid decision, but they already sold off their Western division. So it doesn't surprise me that they're focusing on this stupid shit. Hopefully, it's going to fail, and I hope it does.
Now, what is it about NFTs that the industry is so, and especially in gaming, so looking for? Because it's not like it's something that's going to enhance gameplay.
Money.
Yeah, shit, right? Money. That's what it comes down to it.
Like
quarterly earnings.
It's just money.
Quarterly earnings.
It's just that. Like, NFTs are already a thing in games, and that's just rare items. Like, if you play an MMO and they actually have a rare item that only like 100 people can get, that's essentially what an NFT is trying to be. And we've already had that for decades on multiple games,
Go ahead. When it comes to the money side, the thing you have to realize with NFTs is that they can make it in a way so that if you actually were to create a marketplace and an ecosystem for people to do trades, every single time that there is a transaction, they can take 10 or 30% of that. So that's why NFTs are so like enticing, because it's not just like they sell it to you once. Even if they sell it to you once for like $5,000, and then you go on to sell it for like $15,000, they're thinking to themselves, wait, we'll get another 10%. And then the more that skin is sold, the more they keep getting money. So for them, it makes perfect sense, because every single time this thing has a transaction, I'm getting a cut of that, and I don't have to do anything.
They market it in a way to where it's like, oh, it's beneficial because it's like you play and then you win money. You get money for playing the game. But all these, if you read the terms of all these companies that are trying to do this crap, it's basically what Extreme said. Like, if you buy it for $100, if you buy it for $100 and then you sell it for $5,000, they get 5 to 10%, whatever number they want, out of those transactions. So every time that item keeps getting sold out to someone else, someone stupider to spend even more money, Ubisoft is getting a transaction from that. So they keep getting money out of these items. Basically.
So all they're trying to do is create a marketplace. They're trying to be like a Walmart inside their own video game market, right? And they're trying to use unique, and they're trying to
think of CS:GO. Valve has a similar system. It's just not called NFTs. With Counter-Strike Global Offensive, they sell skins for weapons and knives and shit like that. And there's some of them that are so rare that they sell for like thousands and thousands of dollars, like literally like ridiculous amounts of money. And people buy them because they're that into that whole ecosystem. But it's not an NFT where you can take those skins and sell them elsewhere. It's all under the Valve or the Steam like store. Yeah. So that's sort of like go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. And I was going to say that, in fact, Omij has a point in that the whole lie about being able to take an asset from one game and then have it be like usable or transferable into another game, even if that game used the same engine, it's like the company that will have to support it for the second time, then they will have to support those skins. And unless it's the same company running, unless it's Ubisoft being like, okay, from the Division to maybe Assassin's Creed, you can have the same skin, they'll have an incentive to do that. Again, because it's like, okay, well, if more people use this, make these transactions, we're going to get a kickback on that. So they will have the incentive. But Sony isn't going to be like, oh, there's this Assassin's Creed skin let me put it in The Last of Us, because now it's across boundaries. It's different engines, different ecosystems. And then Sony is going to be like, wait, how come when this item gets sold down the line, is it going to be Ubisoft that gets the money, or do we get the money now?
Yeah. Check this out. Call of Duty is like the most reused game ever. Like every Call of Duty is basically the same thing, just a different coat of paint. The skins that they sell on each of the games that come out, they don't transfer over. And the skin and they always put new stuff on the new game. So all the stuff that you bought on the old Modern Warfare, you can't use it on this Modern Warfare, and they're not reselling that here either. The engine is so similar that they could just take it and port it over. People that mod games on PC in their basement, they literally do it in seconds, in minutes. If it was that easy to do, which it is for them because it's the same engine, the same skeletal mesh, the same bones, the same everything. If it's so easy for them to do that, why doesn't COD do it? You know, COD could have been doing that all this time, but they don't do it. There's many factors to it. The same engine, like Extreme said, if it's the same engine, it's a lot easier to do. But then you got to take into account like bloat on the hard drive or the SSD, among other things. There's just so much that goes into it. I've taken models from games like Uncharted and stuff and put it into Blender so that I can mess with it and put it on different games. And all of them have different structure to how the bones look like. They have different underlying systems. They like when I pull up the Uncharted model, their faces have so many bones because all of those bones mess with the cheeks and so many intricacies. There's so much that goes into like cheeks, eyes, whatever. There's so much that goes into a model that developers like Naughty Dog make, that taking that same model and putting it in a different engine because of NFT sake is ridiculous. It's so stupid, and it's gonna cost a lot, so way too much. Too much time and money.
All right, so who's down the line? Who has the next opinion on this?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
So we already talked about why NFTs are a scam, and that's why they shouldn't be in gaming. And I'll just say that gas games are still, at the end of the day, video games. NFTs as a business model are even more diametrically opposed to like good game design, because again, now it is purely about the marketplace. So it's like everything that you might hate about gas, if you happen to be on the right side of history and hate gas games and in general, everything that you might hate about it is just worse. And the video game itself becomes so tangential to the experience to almost be a side project. If you go out now and look at the marketplace and look at the types of NFT games that are offered, like proper NFT games, you'll find out that the game segment is almost like inconsequential. It pretty much doesn't matter. It's really all about the transactions. So it becomes more like of an investment portfolio. It becomes much more about investment and investment opportunity. So it's like you might as well just go play the stock market. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Project?
I mean, look, I don't know enough about NFTs to give an educated opinion on them.
It didn't stop you last week. Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
It didn't stop you last week. You just kept going on about, what is it?
Man, don't start your shit, man. Let the man talk. Man. God damn.
Like a conviction, baby.
Come on, man. God damn.
I'm just saying, go ahead. They didn't stop you. Don't let it stop you now.
Let the man speak his piece.
Oh, man.
PS5 Pro's happening, baby.
Oh,
but
shit,
anyway.
but there you go. Hey, yo, but you know what? I respect that. You stay on you stay on that goddamn hill, Project. All right, don't you budge for nobody until after 2024. Then you might be in trouble. You know. But anyway, what you think about that?
2025.
Oh my God, now 2025. Oh,
well,
damn.
I even said that last time.
Oh,
that
shit.
I think it's going to be next year.
Oh,
I think it'll be next year. But if it's not, then 2025.
And what if it's not 2025? 2026?
NFT.
Okay. Hey, back to NFT.
Let me say this. If it doesn't happen in
NFT.
2024 or 2025, it probably isn't happening.
Man, you know what? They're going to come out with an NFT PS5 Pro, and this is going to be the only one in the world, so...
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. Now, anyway, what do you think about the NFTs? Even though you don't know much about it, but do you know what an NFT is?
Do you like it or dislike it?
It's... I'm a single-player gamer, so no thank you.
Oh,
but that being said, I mean, look, there's the project... what was it? John Garvin is working on. I'm forgetting the name of what's in development right now. Like That is the former Days Gone director is doing something like AAA ambitious that is going to have NFTs in it. They think it's going to be a good implementation of it. I'm not. I'll say this, like, even though I don't know enough about NFTs, I think that's in part because the industry doesn't necessarily know what to do with them fully yet. There's not really. Is there even a major AAA game out there that really uses this yet? I don't think there is.
I think mobile.
There's games that use it. They just don't call it NFTs, and they're old ass games like CS:GO, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So again, like, it all comes down to implementation. Like, I don't think that there's only one version of NFT. If there was,
Yes.
I think overwhelmingly it seems bad. Look, I'm curious to see what this becomes, but it's kind of interesting that Phil Spencer comes out and is like, no NFTs, nah. I mean, that says a lot. I mean,
oh yeah, he says that now.
You can't trust that guy.
Yeah,
you can't.
man.
Hold on. So
says that shit now. A year later,
he's allowed to have an evolving opinion.
Oh yeah, he really does have an opinion. I just don't trust it. It's like changes with the wind.
When he said that, right? Just recently, they partnered with like another cloud gaming company to do that 10-year deal, and turns out that company works with NFT stuff. So that's why when you mentioned that quote that he made and J-Dub said don't trust him, it's like he said that a couple months ago, and now they're partnering with a cloud gaming web company, for this 10-year thing.
Okay.
I would just say, I don't think any company stays hardline on any of their decisions. I think they're always malleable to adjust. One minute they'll say, this doesn't sound like a good idea, but then once they realize there's some money in it, and especially if they could replicate somebody else that is successful at it, then they'll do it.
Yeah, I agree with Project Cloud though. Project Cloud has a really good point about it's all about implementation, because the way that people are trying to implement NFTs right now is just stupid and people don't want that. But if they do it in a way where it's like, it's not really called NFTs, but it's similar to it. So like you're playing an online game and everything that you earn and get on that in the game stays in there. You don't sell it on a third party website or whatever the hell. They could have rarity items that for people that are hardcore and they play it a lot and they have those items, they can showcase them. Similar to Destiny 1, when you did the Nightfall strike, your helmet glue. Not glue, but it had like a blue flame, and you saw them. You're like, this motherfucker did the Nightfall. That's badass. Something like that. That's a good implementation of quote unquote NFTs. But the way that they're doing it right now, it just sucks.
But the problem is that everything you just said can already be done. So it's like whatever functionality that we might think, this would be good. It's like,
well, I think the main thing is though with the NFT, whatever that item is, it's the only item that exists. So let's say like that blue flaming helmet. That person's the only one that has it. That specific blue flaming helmet.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like they don't have to. So it's tagged. Okay, so Ubisoft did something like that with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They tried it and they failed, but the game still has it. So in the game, by doing certain missions, you can unlock the NFT helmet or boots or whatever. And so when you wear it and someone sees you in the game, it shows the helmet with a tag and a number in the front, in the forehead area. And you can see, this guy has the number 1 of this helmet, So they can have like a batch of 1,000
serialized,
or 100.
like a serialized.
Yeah, they can have a serial number for the heads for whatever item it is, and they can only have 1,000 of them. And out of 2 billion people that play this game, only 1,000 people got this shit.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
And then if they do it, if they have like a marketplace in the game where you can sell that item for something that's in game, like MMOs do, I think that would work really well, because you can just be a millionaire in the game and do whatever you want if you sell this item. But once you take it out of the game and start selling it for real world money and stuff like that, I feel like that's when it's like gets a little sketchy when it comes to the whole NFT thing.
Oh shit, my man Jay. Hold on, Jay Barry said, "Bring on NFTs." Hold on. Oh shit, man. Speak on it, preach on it, Jay Barry. Let them know. Let them know you're trying to get that. You're trying to get that Austin Martin.
Oh man, bring on the NFTs. Gamers don't buy games anyway. That's a new excuse. So these companies bring on whatever you gotta make. If the NFT is gonna make the money, bring it in. You know what I mean? Welcome it. I listen. Everything that gamers don't want, I want these companies to do, because everything that they say they don't want is what they buying. They claim they hate live service games, but every fucking day they playing one. They saying that they don't like this, but every single day they're not buying this. They every day I get tagged in to bring back this RPG. I want this obscure RPG, but when they come out, they don't buy it. So whatever these companies gonna do with NFTs, bring them shits. I welcome it because I want to see y'all motherfuckers complain and still buy them. Watch when they come out, y'all gonna buy them.
J-Boy came in here like Clubber Lang. I want pain.
J-Boy brought up a really good point with that. Because most of these systems like NFTs and like if you go to a store in Call of Duty and the skins are like $20 and shit, they're not really advertising that for the casual people that just bitch and complain on Twitter like, I don't mind buying this shit. They're making those things for whales, for people that are just, they got so much money that they're like, fuck, I'm gonna buy everything in this store. I don't care. I want to buy everything. It's for those type of people.
Yeah, I gotta start making NFT 60 frames no lag memorabilia. If NFT's that bad.
I have been enjoying your villain arc, man. This past few weeks.
J-Barry's villain arc?
I
gave birth to a villain, bro.
Jack move.
He had enough, bro.
Listen,
He
had enough.
He sees the writing on the wall. Square Enix is going down.
You know what I mean? Yo, I've been in this community for a very long time. P-Rock would tell you, man. And yo, I just see the weirdest shit when it comes to this gaming community. The things that they post and tweet is not what they really do. It's not what they do. So
that's true.
When they say when I see, oh, we don't want no NFTs. Let
you want it.
Put them shits out. They gonna I guarantee they're gonna buy them up. They're gonna see a Master Chief helmet that they want that's exclusive. They're gonna buy it up. They're gonna see a Kratos joint. They're gonna buy it up.
Yep.
One PlayStation is like, we're gonna bring 12 NFT games. They're gonna be for it, right?
Absolutely. Yo, we already see it now. They hate every third-party gas game and live service game with a PlayStation one. They don't have no criticism for.
I support gas games over here. Let me tell you.
It's the PlayStation fragrance.
Yep.
It's the PlayStation fragrance. You can't avoid that PlayStation fragrance, man. That shit's savage from the arm, man. That is sauvage. That is sauvage.
I fall back.
We all in Sephora smelling that fragrance, bro. You can't avoid it. You know,
Johnny Depp wearing that.
You know,
having to do a commercial for it.
You know, Jay Barry knows about that fragrance. You can't stop that PlayStation fragrance. But anyway, but Jay Barry, besides you, you know, besides the gaming community creating their first villain, how do you feel personally about NFTs?
No, he's not the first. Jack Move is the first villain.
Oh shit.
Oh nah, I'm not really truly. I'm not for NFTs because on a just an environmental problem. You know, these things cost a lot of you know, energy to run as far as these servers and whatever houses they call, like these farms.
It's running on a blockchain, yeah.
Yeah, it costs a lot, and it's like I do my research with some of it. It's like it's not really good for the environment, and it's very like detrimental to, you know, like the earth and water and all that stuff. So, hey, there's definitely some worries about it, but I'm not for it. But like I said, man, what are they gonna do?
It doesn't matter. The gamers are still gonna get it. All these dudes in space is gonna be all about the NFTs.
Yo, bro, like, yo, they be like, yo, I don't like microtransactions, but they buy every microtransaction. You never can listen to what this community is saying because they do the opposite of what they're saying.
Yeah, that's why you just play your game, stay to yourself, and gatekeep.
Oh shit. Well, how about you, J-Dub? How you feel about this? Even though you're part of the NFT consortium. Don't let J-Dub fool you. He's like the vice president of this shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, his avatar is an NFT. You ain't seen nothing like it.
Don't tell him I'm the beneficiary of all of this shit. Oh man. You gonna put me out there like that.
You funding his pockets.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest, right? And this is just coming from my standard. This is just coming from me personally. We got all these games. A lot of these games are games as a service. They have all these microtransactions. You got your Madden, your FIFA, your 2K, and the rest of these games that they make billions and billions and billions of dollars. Fortnite, all that shit every year. I don't partake. I buy the games, right, to play the games, but I never spend one single dime inside of any of those games. And I've been buying FIFA, MLB for like forever. Like since I got the fucking Vita version of those games, right? Mm-hmm. So every single year, faithfully, I buy those games. But I refuse to spend a dime in the microtransactions with that. It's just like GTA. I can get online, I can play all day. You look at my character, it's bare bone.
Yeah, he had a tank top and Converse.
The game gave me, that's what it is. If I can't make it with in-game currency, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with that. And you got to realize, just because it's out there don't mean you have to partake. If there's your hardline stand, but you got to realize, they're only offering it because there's millions and millions of gamers that actually partake. Yeah. It may not be us in here, but they're not constantly throwing all of this stuff out there and the NFTs and the microtransactions, loot crates and all that stuff out there just because they felt like it. No, it's because there's a market for it. And unfortunately, it outweighs us. And if Sony and if Microsoft and all those guys want to get into NFT items, let them. But guess what? If that ends up if that what they're doing outweighs negatively outweighs, I guess, the good side of it, the gamers will speak. The gamers will be like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with it, man. In order for you to even do anything in this game, you got to spend this money. You got to buy this goddamn item. And I get the idea, right? The idea, hey, there's something custom in this game, this whatever. You can buy it and it's yours and it goes across games. You just own it. Like in real life, you own it. But it's digitally. And I get that idea. I think it's stupid, but still, it's something out there that they're trying. It's another way for them to make money. And a corporation job is always going to be to make money, whether we like it or not. Yeah. So they'll throw it out there, see if you like it. If you don't like it, they'll move on to the next thing. That's just another dud for them. Mm-hmm. So that's my take for it. I could care less. I don't like it, but clearly there's a market for it because these corporations have done their studies. They did their due diligence, and they can say, hey, we're already making money this way. Let's throw another way in there to make more money. And this is why all these companies are starting to chase this stuff. Now, would it be cool, right? Let's say there's this game that Sony makes, and they include that stuff in there. And you just may see something that may be worthwhile. You're like, oh, man, that look dope. I'm going to buy it. It don't cost much money. It costs $3, $4, $5. I'm going to buy it. And you'll never ever in history see another person with something like that. You may be interested in it. I'm not saying I will, but you may be interested. You might be like, one time I'll do it, right? And then we look back 5 years from now, and everybody, you got this big shelf full of shit that you done bought over all these years, and we were at this forefront right now talking about it, how it was such a bad thing, but we partaked in it little by little because they got us, man. We're in the Matrix.
Okay. All right. Yo, Craig.
Once you do it once, you'll do it again.
Yo, Craig, what do you think?
But he
I don't think Craig got a chance to speak.
They can try it. Well, if they want to try it, that's fine. I've said this 100 times. I mean, these companies have the absolute right. They have data that we don't have, and if they have data, saying that this could be something that can make them an extra revenue stream, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to work. I agree with Call Me Jay. It may not work, but we won't know. It takes about a fiscal year to get something looked at. I mean, how many people told you that Sony was going in the wrong direction over a year ago? Then you see the numbers, and those guys, crawl back in the hole because Chocolate Thunder threatened to clap their cheeks. So it's just like, I'll give it a chance, and I may get an Aloy one. They put an Aloy one out. I could be tempted to.
Like he like the snow bunnies. Said. He out there. He out there hyping snow bunnies. Oh god damn, Messiah. Messiah he out here hyping the snow bunnies.
I'm just saying they got.
Hey, Jay Barrio about that. He like, yes sir.
I'm telling Dr. Umar.
Hey, Dr. Umar, where he at?
I may if they look into something like that, but those games as a service are huge. And how many kids have gotten in trouble stealing their parents' credit cards and buying stuff off Fortnite? So they have data that other people just don't have, and people need to understand when these content creators are talking to you, they're just giving you what their narrow worldview opinion is. They don't have any actual data in front of them, so just wait and see. That's it. That's all we can do, right? They're going to do it regardless of what I think. So, good luck to Square. I mean, they may be onto something. Maybe, they got a lot of characters. The Cloud character, all those other characters from Final Fantasy games. Who knows? I mean, you just have to wait and see what they do.
All right. Jay, you were going to say something?
Yeah, J-Dub brought a really good point when he was speaking his mind about it. He mentioned how he played GTA Online. And he don't spend a dime. You know, he just got a freaking white tank top, some shorts. That's it. That's all he plays, right? And like that's a really good like eye opener for maybe some people in the chat, because a lot of these games that have battle passes and storefronts and all this other stuff, the reality is you don't got to spend a single dime on them because they're mostly just cosmetic, you know. So like the whales that spend thousands of dollars on the stores and on battle passes and stuff are funding the quote unquote free content that we get every season and all this other stuff, you know. So it's like once you buy it once, you might more than likely will buy it again. But if you hold yourself back like J-Dub does, like you're still playing the game, and if anything, you'll be more unique than the people that spend money buying skins, because nobody's wearing the default skin but you, so you're the only one that stands out. Everybody else looks the same. And that's true. When you play Call of Duty, the new season comes out, everybody has the same skin, but you just wear a skin from the default character, and it's like, look at this motherfucker with the default skin. Yeah, but all you guys look the same, you know. So it's a really good point.
All right.
Yeah, so, or you just do good at the games. You know what I mean? Most of these people that be complaining about microtransactions, yeah, because you're in the bottom of the leaderboard every goddamn match or whatnot. You ain't gonna get no experience. You ain't gonna get no...
He said, "Get done, motherfucker," and you go for the pair of pants.
Not only that, but on most games, you just play the game and they eventually give you enough tokens to where you can buy the battle pass or buy something on the store. You don't have to spend money. Like I play Battlefield all the time, and I didn't spend a single dime on the battle pass. I just got enough credits to buy the battle pass, and now I'm good. Same thing with Call of Duty way back. The same thing.
So let me make my point.
Majority of these games, like some of them, you do have to spend money, but majority of them you don't. Truly,
I'm not gonna lie. 2K is one of those games because my son, man, he plays it epically, man, and he's always asking me for money so he can buy, the VC and stuff like that. But he grinds all the time. He say, "Dad, I gotta play like 20 games a day just to get anything that's decent."
Yeah.
Yep.
And I told him, and I say, and he said, "You know what? I'm not going to spend any more money because 2K24 or 23 or whatever is going to come out pretty soon. So I'm just going to stop because you got to start all the way back over when the new game come out." And when he said that, my son, he's 13 years old. When he said that, I said, "Damn, man! I'm just thinking of all that money that they done made off of people since that shit has been, inaugurated, since the very first one where they came out with all that, spend your money here."
Yeah, good point.
And that's on top. That's a $70 game, right?
Yeah.
So that's a full price title game. That's not like, I can understand it in Fortnite because it costs you literally nothing to download that game and to play it. You can play all day long if you want.
You don't even need a subscription service.
Yep, you don't need a subscription and then you can play it on any device, right? Yeah. So I get it. If it's free, you can throw whatever you want in there, and it kind of makes sense. You need to monetize your stuff anyway. But for these $70 games, and for them to still do that, oh man, that's another reason I gotta stick to my guns, man. I literally don't spend any money. Yeah. Now,
and to back up,
there's this one game, right? There's this one game that I ever spent money in, only because I was lazy and I wanted my shit. Nah, I didn't feel like waiting. But that was GT7. I ran across. If y'all know how they do in GT7, sometimes you have these legend cars, and these cars will stay in the little auction for like, let's call it 3 days, 3-4 days. So if you see the car you want, you add it to your wish list. You got about 3 days to add to find some money to go and race and get your bank account up to be able to buy that. So I may have already bought this other legendary car, right? So I'm cashed out. So now I got to grind to get the bread.
Or in 3 days. In 3 days,
you got to sell your good shit to get it. And I get it, man. And so that's one game that I really did. I ran across the car I wanted, and so I bought it. It cost like $20. That was for like $2 million. So I ended up buying this special rare car in there. And so in that case, I limited myself. This is what it is. And then I went back, grinded, got my bucks up. And so I won't have to deal with that next time when I go and check the auction. You see what I'm saying? So it depends. It's in the eye of the beholder, right? Some people don't have problems spending all this money on a Madden Ultimate Team, FIFA Ultimate Team, or any of that stuff. You know, they don't mind it because that's their joy, that's their game. Yeah. Just like COD. Some people buy these seasons because it's their game and that's what they like and they find value in it. And I don't knock them for that. That's why I say this NFT stuff, it could be something or it could be nothing. But as long as you don't have to partake, no harm, no foul.
All right.
I wanted to add to J-Dub's point real quick when he mentioned how bullcrap it is that all these games have all these stores and systems, but yet they cost $70 to buy. If you look at the reports when they are talking about financials, more than half of their revenue comes just from not NFTs, but like the microtransactions. So they're making so much money on microtransactions, and I scratch my head thinking, why don't they just make the game free to play? Because they're not really making money off of selling the game at $70 to you. What they're really making money off is the stuff on the store. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, after you spent the initial investment on your game to make it, you got to maintain it. So a lot of those games are really big. Like, look at Fortnite. Every single season, it's something huge. They always got these new characters in there, and I guarantee you,
ain't cheap either.
Yeah, it's not cheap, dude. You got to maintain what you have. We've seen it where people have just patched regular games, just a regular update, and they done broke the whole game. They got to build it from scratch. We've seen that before. So clearly, these services games, it's a big deal, and so you got to keep the team on there. You got to, the servers, you got to keep them maintained and going. Can you imagine if COD goes down for 2 or 3 weeks because of server issues? Man, that's billions of dollars being lost just like that. So they got to spend a lot of money,
Yo, COD just dropped like Shredder. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm gonna log on there tonight, see all the shredders running around that people pay for.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say
whenever we do a crossover event in COD, you see the whole lobby with that same skin. Everybody buys it, and that's like $25. $25 for a skin, bro.
Wait, but check this out though. Check this out. What if the same exact thing, but you see this NFT skin that's yours? And you'll see nobody in the game ever with it, and everybody won $50. Somebody's gonna buy it. And
but that's not how NFTs work, though. It's not that you get a unique item; it's that you get an item that everybody else can get, but yours has a unique identifier. So it's like a barcode on a T-shirt. They will sell more T-shirts, but yours could have a unique barcode.
It could be both.
Yeah, well, what I understand,
but most of the time it's not. Because a unique thing.
When the NFT thing first came out, I seen people spending buku amounts of money for these one individual items, and that's your digital copy of that item that nobody else.
Like the paintings, like the paintings. Yeah.
The dude bought
like
that little
paintings.
The bathing ape monkey.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
He bought that for like what was it? Almost $1 million, $400,000 or some shit like that, and that shit sold for like $7 like a year later. I think it was Justin Bieber did that. So you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. But I'm gonna be honest. I would never buy something digital that's of value, thinking that in the future I'm going to be able to sell that or make some. I mean, it's digital. We buy games. Let's say that's digital. A year from now, that game dies. That digital, is useless. So we got to think of those terms as well.
I would say that, and Jay, and I think some of you touched on it, it's the implementation. I think one good way, and Call Me Jay gave an example, if it's something to give more to the gamers, right? So let's say, for example, I'll use Destiny, right? Let's say a new Destiny comes out. The first 1,000 people that completes a raid, you get this special, unique 1,000, items and stuff like the helmet, weapons, whatever. And you're the only, and the first 1,000 to complete it gets it. And that's it. And once this done, it's locked. It's NFT. No one gets it, right? So now people could be like, yo, that's incredible. Yo, that's one of the dudes that completed the raid and stuff like that, right? So if it's more based to help kind of provide an accolade, like an accolade type system. You know what I'm saying? Where you reward people, hey, the first 100 people to platinum a game. You understand what I'm saying? They'll get a Kratos platinum armor with an etched, and then it shows what number they were. Hey, I was the 75th person in the world to platinum this game and stuff like that, right? Then I could see something like that not being bad. In fact, I could see it try to encourage people to do more in the game and play more and put more hours. You know, the first person to win 1,000 fights in Street Fighter, you know, or the first 1,000 people to win 100 fights, the first people to win 1,000 fights, the first people to win 10,000 fights. You know what that's gonna do? That's gonna make people want to play more Street Fighter. So I can see that being, you know, if they're thinking of it in that way, then I can see that, because one, it gives gamers more bragging rights, and we all love bragging rights, right? We all love to show that we got good, right? And stuff like that. But if it's their intention, and this was mentioned earlier, is to create a marketplace where they only have to create, you know, think about the system we have now, right? Like they make a character skin for, you know, for a character. It's really, they only selling it one time to the individual, to whoever buys that, right? So if 100 people bought it, then 100 people bought it. If 1,000 people bought it, 1,000 people bought it, whatever. But if they could create only a few items, right? Let's say like 100, right? And that thing keeps circulating because of its rarity, right? People buy it, they hold on to it. Let's say I buy it for $10. 3 months later, it's worth 100. Oh, I'm gonna sell it. Well, I sell it for $100. Guess what? I'll use Sony as an example. Let's pretend Sony is the one that pushes it, right? Sony gets 10% of that. Let's say 10% deduct rate, right? So let's say Sony gets a 10% cut off of every transaction, no matter what. All right, so I sell it to Barry for $100. Barry holds on to it. 7 months later, that thing's worth $1,000, and Call Me Jay wants it. So Barry sells it to Call Me Jay. Well, guess what? Sony gets another 10%, so now that's a $100 cut. You see? So Sony keeps consistent revenue off of the same item they already sold, and they're just sitting back, letting y'all deal with it. You understand what I'm saying? And in order for that to work, they first have to engineer a system to create that environment, and that's what I'm afraid of, because that system doesn't benefit gamers. That at best benefits collectors and people who want to make money. But like Jay Barry says, there's a lot of people in the gaming community. And this is my personal opinion. There's a lot of people. Maybe infiltrating is an excessive word, but there's people getting into gaming and it's not for gaming. And I'm thinking, and I'm seeing that across the board, period. I'm seeing people who using it as a platform to be an influencer, but they don't play games, to be a journalist, but they hide their achievements. So we don't even know if they're actually playing the game that we review, right? I see people being ambassadors and throwing parties and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, look at this dude, right? What's his name? From G4 TV. He said, I'm not a gamer. Fuck this bullshit. Yep. He moved on to something big and better. Once he started his company, the True Colors came out. Yep. He used gaming as a connection, get on TV, meet some people. But once he did what he really wanted to do, he's like, fuck y'all. I ain't got to talk to y'all. I just used y'all for what I needed. And I'm seeing that a lot, right? Because gaming is a good gateway to get into another industry. Because we're so easily accepting. We'll take anybody, bro.
That's true.
There's so many avenues to get into.
Just look at the dudes on Twitter, man. Like those dudes that, like you said, they hide their achievements. We know they don't play no games based on the stupid shit they be saying. And guess what? It's okay because the community is going to accept them. They're going to probably most likely get a bunch of followers because it's just it is what it is, man.
Well, look at Carson Daly. Carson Daly started on MTV. Now he's on the Today Show. He used MTV to catapult himself to where he is. People they don't vet
Ryan Seacrest, all of them.
He's saying or she's saying something that I agree with. So, there's no
but out of all the forms of entertainment, gaming, like Porter Rock said, is a very easy one to get into, and usually people are trying to be accepting because they're not trying to hurt people's feelings and whatnot. So it's easy for all these people on Twitter or on YouTube to be like, I'm a gamer or whatever, but in reality they don't game. You don't have to really prove anything. All they have to do is gain a following, and there's so many types of groups of people that are in gaming, like for example Xbots, not Xbox fans, but Xbots, that they want is like cloudy freaking Wonderland stuff, and that's how those people get their attention. But if you go to like the music industry or sports and you start acting like one of those people on Twitter, the people that are already there for years are gonna be like, what the fuck?
That's what's
doing?
crazy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because I don't see that shit
exposed.
like I don't see that shit because I'm like on Giants Twitter, right? And people talk football and stuff like that, right? And then also baseball. I don't see that shit in baseball. I see some crazy shit. Like right now, there's a lot of Giant fans thinking that they know how to run a team better than general managers. So they're worrying about salary caps. I'm like, yo, this is some weird shit. Motherfuckers worry about salary caps. Got it. You're always going to have those guys, whatever. But I have not met somebody pretending to like football and then want to talk to everybody, right? Yeah. It's like, I haven't seen that because you're going to look stupid. Everybody's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about, right? Only in gaming, you could have a person that clearly, and J-Bar could back me up, could clearly be like, yo, this guy doesn't game. And yet, some people will side with that dude. Mm-hmm. You're like, how? It is clear he don't game. This person don't game. Why are you? Yeah. Like, I understand he's pretending to like your box, but he's not really playing your box. He's lying. Why are you accepting that?
And you're the bad guy for calling him out.
Like, yo, this shit is crazy. Hit the like button. You know,
it's also having the charismatic opinion. That's what people care about now, like being entertained rather than an experience. Like people just want to be entertained.
But what's funny is like if the person has an opinion, it has to be grounded with some type of experience. That's the thing about gaming, right? If you talk about gaming, that means you have some level of experience because you play the games, right? If you don't play the games, then where's all these words and stuff coming from? It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's hollow and stuff like that. Like, if a person never played PlayStation and say, hey, I think PlayStation is great, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, what games you play? Oh, I never really owned a PlayStation. Then why are you saying it's great for? You don't really need to say anything. Like, just don't say anything.
They like it for the community.
You ain't got to say nothing, bro. Like, bro.
Not for the games.
And that's what's crazy. The best part of any community is the games. Once you get into the games, everything else will fall into place. Like, yo, this shit is wild. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, and I'm not gonna skip, but I want to address this right now, right? So I got, Craig left, but anyway, so right here, so Microsoft says 10 years is sufficient for Sony to develop a Call of Duty alternative. Microsoft has said it believes 10 years is long enough for Sony to develop a rival offering to Call of Duty franchise. Regulators, including the UK's Competition Market Authority, have expressed concerns that Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard could significantly reduce PlayStation's ability to compete, given that it would see Microsoft gaining ownership of the Call of Duty series, which Sony has called irreplaceable. In a bid to gain approval for the deal, Microsoft had told regulators it's willing to make each new Call of Duty game available on PlayStation the same day it comes to Xbox for a 10-year period with full content and feature parity. And in a newly published document, the company has told the CMA that it believes a decade is long enough for Sony to create alternatives to Call of Duty. At the remedies hearing, the CMA asked Microsoft if the 10-year duration is sufficient and whether there will be a cliff edge for Sony at the end of this period. The 10-year period is redacted, Microsoft wrote. Microsoft considers that a period of 10 years is sufficient for Sony as a leading publisher and console platform to develop alternatives to COD. The 10-year term will extend into the next console generation, redacted. Moreover, the practical effect of the remedy will go beyond the 10-year period since games downloaded in final year of the remedy can continue to be played for the lifetime of the console and beyond with backwards compatibility. In its dealings with regulators, Sony has argued that it would be impossible for it to replace Call of Duty if the series was no longer available on PlayStation. In response to questions submitted by Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense, its subsequent approved the deal. Sony labeled Call of Duty an essential game, a blockbuster AAA type game that has no rival. It wrote, according to a 2019 study, the importance of Call of Duty entertainment in general is indescribable. The brand was the only video game IP to break in the top 10 of all entertainment brands among fans, joining powerhouses such as Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings. Call of Duty is so popular that influences users' choice of console, and its community of loyal users entrenched enough that even if a competitor had the budget to develop a similar product, it would not be able to rival it. In Microsoft's newly published response to CMA, it noted that the 10-year term is longer than or equal to previous licensing remedies imposed in other mergers. While Microsoft is prepared to continue to discuss this constructively with the CMA, there is no basis for extending the remedy beyond the period proposed by Microsoft. It claimed the CMA's final report ruling on Activision Blizzard deals due April 26th. So let me start off with this. I will say this. Let's backtrack real quick because there's one huge confusion which is blowing my mind. Sometimes I wonder, holy shit, these are actual adults, bro. Each side, just to preface everything before I move forward, I think we all understand each side. Phil, we'll use Phil representing Microsoft and Jim Ryan, right, representing Sony. They're doing the best they can because they have their own company's priorities. I think we all agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. If Phil gets paid to look out for Microsoft's best interest, Jim Ryan gets paid to look out for Sony's best interest. And they're going to say, do, right. They're going to cut a jig. I think we all are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Does any of us see anything wrong with that?
Nope.
Okay, cool. We're all on the same page. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with what Phil is doing. He's doing what he needs to do, and there's nothing wrong with what Jim is doing, right?
Phil's doing he's doing an amazing job at what he's supposed to be doing. They both are.
Yeah, right. So everybody realizes at the end of the day, they're just saying whatever they got to say, right? And they're flooding the CMA, the EU and FTC. They're flooding them with so much information, and it's the regulators' job to sort all that shit out and try to figure out which is the factual information, which is the bullshit information. That's their job. Yep. Microsoft and Sony's not going to do it for them. We all agree with that, right?
Yes.
Cool. So it's not a hard concept, right? So so why is people on the internet in their fields talking about, like Jaffe? I saw he was on, what's this dude's live podcast? Dustin and Gary.
Yeah.
Talking about, he has no balls or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is Jaffe talking about?
Yeah.
Like this, none of the complaints on either side make sense. Like, yo, they're just not interested. Phil's interested in what's best for Microsoft. Jim Ryan and PlayStation's interested in what's best in line with Sony. Why is everybody like, I can understand that you don't agree with one side. Like one side don't agree with Sony or whatever, or don't like what Sony's doing because it prevents them to get what they want on their platform, which is games on Game Pass. That's understandable from a gamer's perspective. On the other side, you got gamers that don't like Microsoft. They think they're suck. They think they're inept. And they don't want to see them hog more games because some people feel like they're just going to ruin them. That's a perfectly valuable thing from a gamer's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't want Microsoft to get Activision. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even want Bethesda because in their mind, Microsoft sucks. Their ecosystem sucks. They don't know how to manage games. Why do we want them to control more titles? So that's a
fact.
Yeah, but that's one side. But they're both legit from the gamer's perspective. But looking at it from the business perspective, people are mad that Jim's doing what he's doing, right? I was talking to Fonz today a little bit, right? And we were talking a little bit, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
All because of that Reforging guy, right? That Reforging gamer, whatever, Reforge Gaming, whatever. He's hurting a lot of feels, but I don't understand why people are upset. He's only stating the obvious. He's not saying that Microsoft is wrong for doing what they're doing. All he's saying is Sony's just simply doing their job. Why is everybody pissed off and trying to say they should do this? They should take the deal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are people trying to tell Sony, oh, you should take the deal? Like, bro, if you worked for Sony, would you take the deal? Because if you tried to, you would be fired. How is that an understandable point? But I digress, right? But as far as this, right? Microsoft making this comment saying that Tony has plenty of time to create a rival. What I don't understand is the gamers, even the PlayStation. I'm gonna talk to the PlayStation gamers. I'm not even gonna talk to Xbox guys, right? So ignore it. This is not even about Xbox gamers. Jabari, we gotta talk to our own community, right? Because they're getting suckered into the conversation, right?
Yep.
So this is for you PlayStation gamers. This is not for you Xbox guys. Because we already know you're drowning in the green Kool-Aid, and Phil Spencer's not sending you the life preserver. So you're just gonna have to keep, treading water until the games come. This is strictly for the PlayStation guys. For the PlayStation guys, right? Who are saying things like, good, now, this could probably kickstart and get Sony back into making multiplayer games and stuff like that. Or now, COD won't be a crutch for multiplayer, whatever. Understand, there is no polarizing aspect to this. You can do both. Nothing says that Sony has to stop trying to go after Call of Duty, right, in order to get multiplayer. In fact, they already announced 10 to 12 live service games before Microsoft made the announcement to acquire Activision. Sony was already in on that. Sony's all in on multiplayer. They're all in. They're going after it. Yeah, I even made a video.
The actual acquisition for Bungie was being done before it too.
I made a video last year before even I think Bethesda acquisition even finalized, right? In one of my videos covering Sony's quarterly reports, that by 2025, half the gaming budget of what they use to make games is going towards live service games. So that's already done. Like, Sony's all in. They're making it happen. They're going after the multiplayer gas. You're going to get all of that. You don't need to get rid of Call of Duty. Like, Sony doesn't have to be like, all right, screw it, Microsoft. Be in control of a game that provides PlayStation $1 billion a year. Yeah, don't worry about it. Take it. That'll help us focus on other games. No. they can do both. They can still protect the money and revenue they earn for Call of Duty and still go after the multiplayer games, right? Like,
absolutely.
Arguably, they did that already.
Yeah.
Arguably, they did that already. On the PS3 era, Call of Duty was selling a ton on PlayStation, and they were like, okay, let's try making our own multiplayers as well. And they tried, and some of them failed, and some of them were just like the time and place wasn't good, and they ended up failing because of that. And then they tried on the PS4 gen with Killzone, Shadowfall, and some others, and they didn't get traction. So they were like, you know what? Let's just let Call of Duty do its thing, and we'll just focus on what we do best. So they already did it. They already tried on PS3 and at the beginning on the PS4 gen. They're just doing it again because I guess they want to take another shot at it. So P-Rock, he's 100% correct. Like, they can have Call of Duty and also have their other games, same as Microsoft.
Shout out to Chuck Norris. You know what I'm saying? Good name. Good solid name. Strong man. Strong jaw. He says, how come MS don't create a COD competitor then? Oh, I'm gonna bring that up because there's a little bit of hypocrisy to that too. But I'm gonna bring up that point, right? But yeah, Comey J, you did the same thing. In fact, I'm glad you brought up the 360 era, right? Because during the 360 era, right, arguably, right, Microsoft had pretty much, if not the number one, at least one of the top first-person shooters of that era, which was Halo 3. That was one of the best multiplayer first-person shooters, period, during that generation, right? Yet they still went after Call of Duty marketing rights. Just because they had the top FPS shooter doesn't mean they're gonna let go of another hitter that brings them lots of money and helps their platform, right? And that's PlayStation guys are falling because I think they're talking to Xbox guys on Twitter too much. They're not realizing you can do both. You can fight for Call of Duty, right? Keep that revenue stream up, and push another thing, right? Another narrative that's stupid, right? And this is from the Xbox guys. This is why, again, I'm gonna say this. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you guys, and some of y'all just simply not listening. Stop listening to Xbox guys about PlayStation, bro. Like, just stop, bro. Listen, you're giving yourself a heart attack over this shit, right? So Xbox guys is like, so what? Sony could still make games without Call of Duty. They don't need Call of Duty money. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, since when in business did anyone learn that a company that is designed to make profit is going to say, we made enough money. We don't need more. Exactly. That's like going to your employer and about to get a raise. I don't need a raise. You know, all the bills and everything I got, I'm good with the money I make now. Why the hell are you going to give me more money for? Right? Yeah. It doesn't make sense, right? Any money that Call of Duty brings in, that's more money that goes into Sony's pocket. Of course, the execs are going to benefit from that. But add more money to the company, or especially to a publisher, means more opportunities for more projects, more games, just more stuff for us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Less money means less stuff. More money means more stuff. So it's not an absolute zero scenario. It's not a scenario of, if you remove Call of Duty, no games are going to get done. No, games are still going to get done. But anytime you are able to get more money, you get to do more stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that concept is not understood. Right? But again, they PlayStation guys are listening to Xbox guys. Why are you listening? Yep. Why does a group of people who don't even have games have so much sway? It blows my mind.
Yep.
They tried so hard on PS3 gen with all these random and unique multiplayer games because they had third party and all these games selling on top of their first party that did really well. They could take risk and try new things. If Call of Duty goes from PlayStation and they don't make as much money, as well as other games like Diablo, for example, or whatnot, that's a lot less money that's going to make them not want to take risk, not only on the multiplayer side, but even on the single-player games that we've been getting, bangers like God of War and Spider-Man. They might scale those down, not because they can't do it, but because they don't have enough. The budget isn't there anymore because they're not getting as much income from third-party sales on their platform.
Wait,
situation.
Let me tell you this, right? Here's my thing. That's not my problem. That's Sony's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Their job, they're a billion-some-dollar corporation. Their job is to figure out, if they lose some money on some front, Go find some other deal with somebody else and to make that money back on, or to replace that Call of Duty money. It may take 1 or 2 deals for them to do with other third-party companies, maybe EA or somebody else, to replace that revenue. But that's what a corporation is going to do. And if you hadn't been doing that, figuring out how to diversify, right? Jim Ryan didn't wake up one day and just say, "Hey, I just found out that we're going to be losing this Call of Duty deal." They've been knowing this a long time ago, that a possibility, or at least as a corporation, your job is to play out all different scenarios and have plans in place for those scenarios. I was one of the first people to say that the whole Bungie deal was I'm not going to say it was a reactionary thing to Call of Duty or anything like that, but it was a we don't have to start from zero, or we don't have to start, we have something in place that's a service game that brings in a lot of revenue. It also gives us the experience that we need to extract money out of our other IPs or our other games we got coming. But it was kind of like a fail safe, right? Because Destiny is a big game as well. Of course, it's nowhere near as big as Call of Duty, but it is big. And that could be a something that they can fall back on into the meantime for them to replace some other kind of revenue type of game, or car replacement, or whatever, right? Yeah. So it's just so many different ways to look at this. But again, at the end of the day, that's a Jim Ryan's problem. That's not a J-Dub problem or a J-Bar or Puerto Rock problem, right? It's not. Can I follow up on that? Go ahead.
First of all, you're completely right. Second of all, I've been disappointed with people in the community taking this shit personal. Because I'm just like, first of all, don't apply personal qualities or qualifiers to a corporation. Like, Sony isn't crying. Sony isn't a person. Like, Sony doesn't have emotions. Like, Sony isn't some kind of person just like, oh my God, Jim, oh no, like, stop. It's a corporation made of people that are smarter than you are doing the thing that they are doing. So first of all, just stop with all of that. Second, like J-Dub said, it doesn't concern us. We are gamers. I don't give a shit if Call of Duty does this, or Microsoft keeps this exclusive, or for 10 years, or for 3 years, or for 1. I don't care. Like, it's not my job to care. I don't get paid to care. There are people that are literally getting paid millions of dollars to like talk and discuss this deal, and yet they do it less than some other people on Twitter. It's like, why are you doing this? You're not being paid for it. So listen, I hope that post up and everything, that they can turn this passion for international law into a career. I hope that they can be brilliant at it, that they make money at it. But until you are the person that is being called by Sony or Microsoft to represent them, how about you just stop? How about you just chill? It doesn't concern you. It's not your problem to worry about. And then finally, we have to stop with this notion that Sony is like reacting to this deal. Like, it's a mega corporation. It's like a giant ship. It takes years for an initiative to start and for you as a public to actually see or even hear any hint about it. So when it comes to like the Bungie deal, no, just because you heard about it after the Activision deal got announced doesn't mean that Sony in 3 days made it happen. Like, just like, it doesn't work that way. And same thing with the multiplayer games. Those games are not because Sony might lose COD. Those games are because years ago, Jim Ryan and his crew sat down and said, hey, we are going to invest in multiplayer games. So this deal, yes, you are hearing about it at the same time, but it doesn't mean that correlation equals causality. So we just have to like bring ourselves back to reality, okay? It's a giant corporation. If you hear about it today, there's a good idea. The idea has been floating in the headquarters for about 10 years. So,
but this is why you shouldn't take Twitter seriously. This is why you shouldn't take the gaming community seriously when it comes to stupid shit like that, right? Because having a common sense conversation with some of the people that are out there right now, it's a waste of time. That's why I tell Puerto Rock all the time, dude, don't waste your time arguing with those dudes.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just the people on Twitter. It's people like David Jaffe, right? People that are meant to be like.
Yeah, but listen, he's a clout chaser. He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
his job, you know, he wants reactions for it. Look at his thumbnails. Look what he say. Look what he talk about. Right? He'll put the thumbnail. Like, he'll put the thumbnail out there, and then if you go and watch the video, he's saying the complete opposite, right? And then so when you call him out on it, he say, "Go watch the video. I say the opposite." It's clout chasing 101.
Yeah. That's really what it is, man.
He's doing He's doing what Twitter is doing, but he's getting paid to do it. He's getting paid for it.
Which I have no issue with, by the way. I don't care about Jeffy. But my thing is, if you go to like IGN, if you go to like Push Square, if you go to any of these people that I mentioned represent us, the serious journalists, they do the exact same thing. They come out every week like, would you believe what Sony said? I'm like, Sony didn't say it. Sony's lawyers said it.
But
and
you
if
know why?
Lawyer doesn't say whatever it takes,
it doesn't pay. It doesn't. It's not financially for these guys. It's not. How can I put it? Financially, in their best interest to sit there and explain all the malarkey that's going on Twitter and to tell you the truth. Their job is to get into that conversation, give their opinion, make fun of it, and I'm not even gonna say make fun of it, but keep that narrative push. You see Destin Ligari and Tom Warren and the rest of those guys out there fanboying doing their stuff. They're trying to sell you something. They're trying to get you to come to their channel and watch their stuff. They try to play into the whole thing. Listen, if you want a big following, right? If you want to make a lot of money, just be pro Xbox. Those guys will come in droves. Hundreds of thousands will come and flock to your channel by you just saying what they want to hear. You're telling them what they want to hear. And that's what Destin is doing. And that's what all these lawyers, right? All these Twitter lawyers that came out the woodworks to talk about the Blizzard Activision deal. That's what they're doing. Yep. They don't care because true journalism on Twitter and YouTube doesn't make you money. And I'm gonna be honest, most gamers, most of those dudes out there, they don't care. It's just like Jay Barry was talking about with the whole gaming thing. These guys are gonna say, I want this, I want that, but when the game comes out, they don't fucking go and buy it. Or they find some reason of why they shouldn't buy it. They call everything trash. They don't even want to try it. This is why, again, you gotta gatekeep and you just like I said, man, I'll set my profile offline so people won't bother me while I'm gaming, and I'll just stick to myself. Because that nonsense of just, that's why, again, I'm telling you, that's why I never take Twitter seriously. You can't have a serious conversation with a bunch of guys who fucking think like that.
Now, going back to what Microsoft said, that 10 years should be enough to create a cloud competitor. Listen, theoretically, sure, again, for me, I just see it as Microsoft lawyers saying whatever they need to get this deal through. So I don't really take it seriously, but I think that's Sony's point that it takes such a huge industry of its own to create a core competitor, because it's like, 5 studios or something it's pretty much every Activision studio that is that is supporting that. So I'm just like, when people say Sony could do it.
Barry, how many studios are responsible for Call of Duty in order to get it to release annually?
Way too many, bro. Like, you think it's Infinity Ward, but when you boot up the game, there's like 5 or 6 that show up on the credits.
Yeah. So it's like,
man, he out there with his snow bunny. Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
Oh, damn. Barry out there.
Where Dr. Umar at? I got Dr. Umar.
Man, we have to get Dr. Umar.
He's on Game Pass looking for games to play, man. Right?
Shit, he ain't gonna find them, Barry. But anyway, there's like 3 or 4 main studios that are responsible.
Yeah.
I let the chat should know too.
I mean, when you think about it, you got Treyarch, you got Sledgehammer,
Infinity Ward, I think. Right?
You got, Infinity Ward. You got all these. And we know that. We know what it takes, for those guys to support that game and drop that shit annually. That's why when they talked about potentially when Phil Spencer talked about moving it to every 2 to 3 years or whatever, I said, "Oh shit, here we go. You changing the flavor. That shit may not work out because if you do that, you give somebody else a big opportunity to come in on those years where you're down, right, and to take the attention away. And right now, Kai just has that annual attention, just like Madden and 2K. If they stop and they start doing it every other year,
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, you're.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Sorry about
man,
that. Yeah, man.
Got you.
Phil Spencer called me and told me to shut up.
He got called DSL. You know, you can't be calling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Hey, shout out to Chuck Norris again. He said, "What are you talking about? Sony is my friend." My man Chuck Norris says him and Sony's like this. You know what I'm saying? It's great, right? And shout out to Plus. Hold on. Shout out to Plus on the Block podcast. New member to the channel. Welcome to the 60 Phrase No Like family. Shout out to Plus on the Block. Check them out, man. Thank you so much, man, for checking them out, man. Hey, hit me up in the DM, man. We gotta talk.
So Modern Warfare 2, which is the latest Call of Duty. Yeah. Here are the developers: Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Toys for Bob, Demonware, Raven Software, Sledgehammer, Beanox, High Moon Studios, and Activision Shanghai. All of those guys work together to make this game.
Damn.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that I don't want Sony to create a COD competitor because I don't want to see 9 studios dedicated to just making one game and sustaining that one game. So I want, like, what is it? The Last of Us multiplayer game to come out, but I want it to be reasonable in scope that a team at Naughty Dog can maintain whatever their ambitions are, so that the rest of the teams can actually keep producing the single player games that we want, and that other studios can also do the same, because I don't want necessarily for PlayStation to have to sustain a mega hit like Fortnite or Call of Duty, because that just requires such manpower that it is inevitable for it to take away. Like, imagine if Sony had a GTA 5. We saw what happened to GTA. It's like, yeah, you don't get any DLC. Like, you're not getting anything but GTA Online. And that's what happens when you have these mega successful things. They require like a whole world of their own. So while I wish success for Sony's multiplayer efforts, I also don't want them to just take over the entire company portfolio. So that's my selfish wish. You brought up a really good
point. You brought a really good point on that extreme, because if you look back, I think there were articles about this. When Fortnite came out and it blew up, Epic Games basically had their developers working as much as they can, basically 24/7, let's say, just hardcore pushing content nonstop. They were just tired and stressed and depressed working on this game because they had to keep that flow coming. Otherwise, they were scared that the game was gonna die down. Yep. So that's a good point that you brought up.
Now, what I find interesting for Microsoft's point, right? They're talking about a 10-year competitor, which is, again, they're making the comments that they need to get the deal through. But I'm wondering if this opens the door for Sony to be like, because I would be like, hold up. Because I made a tweet earlier today, and I've said that this could potentially open the door for Sony to be like, hold up. You talking about creating COD competitors, yet you, over the last couple of years, you already own Halo. Now, because of your Bethesda acquisition, you now have Doom, Wolfenstein, Prey, and Quake. You now have 5 first-person shooters. And then if you get Activision Blizzard, you'll get Call of Duty and Overwatch. 6 out of the 7 FPS you didn't create. You only made 1, and the one you're making is downtrending.
But which one did they create?
Halo.
They didn't create it.
Well, they funded the project. What you call it? Bungie. Bungie was a small studio and they didn't have backing, so that's why they acquired them and gave them all the money they needed to finish that project. So, I mean, either or, it's like splitting hairs at this point. But generally, they have Halo, and really, that's really the only first-person shooter they got. Every other first-person shooter they have now, they just bought it. They bought Wolfenstein, they bought Doom, they bought Prey, they bought Quake. And now they're about to buy Overwatch and Call of Duty. So they ain't create a goddamn thing.
Yep, I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
I think
so. That's a funny. So I'm wondering.
That's the argument.
Yeah. So if I'm wondering, if Sony, if I was wondering, is Sony gonna come out and be like, hold up, from a publisher standpoint, let's compare who has the most first-person shooters, and see that graph. Microsoft could have just shot themselves in the foot. Sony could be like, hey, this is Microsoft, and how much percentage of the FPS market they own as a publisher if this Call of Duty deal if this Activision Blizzard deal. Because if you notice, Sony hasn't even talked about Overwatch. Nobody gives a shit about Overwatch. Hell, Sony doesn't even give a shit about anything else.
Yeah.
Diablo, World of Warcraft, Rock Band, whatever.
You know why, though?
Keep all those goddamn games. They don't care.
Sony's looking at it like, dude, we fund 13% of that corporation's entire revenue intake.
Yep.
And our competition is coming in and going to buy up that company, and that deal that we have is no longer going to be there. You know, it's like you buying something from under the rug from somebody else, like after a deal is already in place.
Yeah.
So I get why it's a big deal to them and why they're fighting to get it stopped. Plus, it's competition.
Yeah.
If you compete with somebody, you
don't want your competition to have control over something that's revenue yours, right? Now, from my perspective, like you said, J-Dog, like you said in the beginning, at the end of the day, it's their problem, right? At the end of the day, if you're a gamer, you're gonna find ways to play the game that you want to play. Yeah, that's just. And I understand people are gonna come at me, and because I said this before. What about the people who don't have money, the low income guys? In my opinion, when I think of people who are low income, my concern for them is not whether they could play a game. My question would be, do you have job opportunities? Do you have access to college and certifications? Do you have food?
Why are you worried about gaming? You got issues.
If you're low income, gaming, Activision Blizzard's not that has nothing to do with that. At this point, you're talking about healthcare. Do they have access to healthcare? Do they have food on the table? Do they have access to education to advance themselves? Job opportunities. Gaming is the last thing I think about when it comes to low income people. That's if you want me to feel sorry for low income people, that's the direction I look at. You know, because the first thing is, can you get stabilized? You understand what I'm saying?
Why are you spending $300 and $500 on these fucking consoles when you got bigger problems? You got bigger fixtures for it.
That's how I look at it.
That's why that little teeny argument has never fazed anybody. It's always been a dumb argument.
Yeah, the little Timmy get health care. Did he get food? Was he able to eat dinner before he go to bed? That's what you worry about, little Timmy. You know, little Timmy playing Call of Duty and spending whatever money they have left on NFTs ain't the answer.
Little Timmy should be playing.
Even back then, when we were young and we didn't got jobs and shit, we still found a way to save up money to buy whatever you wanted to buy. If it was too expensive, either I wait for a sale or I just put my head down, start getting money, and then when I come back,
but the industry never catered to you. They never said, "Hey, let me give little Timmy a break, man. I know we make these billions of dollars. Let's give little Timmy a break." Well, listen, I'll never forget when Visual Concepts back then, when they had 2K, when they was going against Madden and stuff like that, when they dropped NFL 2K at $20. It was a better product. It was $20, and it was a third of the cost of the competition game, which was Madden. That shook the company up. That shook EA up. But the reason they did it, sold the game for $20, was because of little Timmy. Right? They didn't say, "Hey, let's give little Timmy a break." That's not why they did it. They did it because they wanted to undercut the competition. They wanted everybody to come to 2K, NFL 2K, and leave Madden. So, guys, these corporations don't fucking care. Trust me.
Shit, I remember when Street Fighter 2 was $70 on the Super Nintendo. They definitely didn't care about little Timmy. Exactly. They didn't care about Timmy, Johnny, or Jose. F all of y'all. You dropping this $70.
Yep. If you want to play it, this is what it is.
All right. Let's go on to the next topic. Hey, so Neil Druckmann mentioned, I think it was Sacred Symbols, that now that the show's over, we're going to get some word about Factions 2. Now, a rumor has it that they're aiming to be more like what Grand Theft Auto 5 is doing, like to create this world. So Factions is the multiplayer, right? It's not a mode.
Yeah.
Factions is
a platform.
The platform. Yeah, it is. This is it, right? It's not like a mode and you play. Nah, Factions, all that. So what do you guys think about, who plays Grand Theft Auto a lot? I played a little bit of it, but I stopped years ago. But I think, J-Dub, you mentioned that you played it, right? Trying to get your gang, get your gang. How do you feel?
Gang on.
Yeah, you try to get your gang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How do you feel, not obviously carbon copy, but they're trying to generate like a GTA 5 like live world for Factions. Like, how do you foresee that's happening? And how do you think, if that's their vision, what makes you think, what do you think that would be in it that to make it successful, if that's their approach? And what should they stay away from that you might be nervous that they could royally screw it up if they do this? What's your opinion?
brother, content is key. You better have that first year figured out before the game even launches. Before you let anybody touch a finger on there, you better have that year, that first year already figured out. That first year of content already figured out. Because what you don't want to do, you don't want to have a Halo where you release the game and then you trying to figure out what you're going to do for the next 2-3 years of content. This game is going to survive off this content. How will this game be updated? Will you create new neighborhoods, right? Will you create new places for them to shoot and fight and stuff like that? Then you got to think about it, the monetary aspect.
The NFTs.
The NFT. Listen, is this going to be a free-to-play game for those platforms that it's on, or is this going to be a $70 game? How much is your guns, your outfits? How much is that stuff going to cost, right? Because if it's too expensive,
bullet. a pack of Newports, dog.
but here's the thing, and let me say this. I want to be clear.
Wait, hold up. Am I the one that gets the feeling that J-Bar right now is like, ain't nobody gonna buy it?
No.
I know. I get this feeling. Like I can feel it. J-Bar is like, Water Rock, ain't nobody gonna buy it.
No, I'm
Why are you talking about
happen.
it?
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
Okay.
We know without a doubt because that's just the time that we live in with social media and stuff like that. Regardless how the game come out, it's gonna get shitted on by a certain fan base and by certain journalists.
Of course.
It's going to get embraced by others.
Gotta get them hits.
Yeah, the cloud is going to be there, right?
You know, you gotta pamper the babies. You gotta pamper the babies. They're gonna be crying, another game that I don't got on Xbox, and the CMA still hasn't gone through. Yeah, we got it. We know. So we're like, oh, here you go.
We know it's going to get compared to GTA, to Call of Duty, and the rest of the other services type games. It's going to get compared. If something's not in there, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If you gotta pay to play the game, if it's not free to play, dudes are already gonna pull up. Oh, well, I already bought The Last of Us 2 remake, and so therefore, I mean, The Last of Us 1 remake, and that shit came part of faction. It should. I mean, you know the whole spiel.
I already know that.
They already did that spiel, so they already did that spiel, right? They already
like my brother.
Yeah, so they're gonna resurface all that goofy shit, right? Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. If because it's Naughty Dog, the only thing that's giving me the hope that it's going to be good is because Naughty Dog don't miss, and this is one area where we'll see what they're made of, right? If this comes out and they continue that legacy of not missing, fuck, I'm not gonna lie, man. These guys are the creme de la creme. If not, and it bombs, then they will still be like the best single player story driven game developer out there, right? And so this is unfortunate. I don't want them to stop. If this fails, I don't want them to stop and say, hey, we're stopping, we're just going to retreat. You're never going to get to the Call of Duty level. You're never going to get to the GTA level. You're never going to get to those levels unless you keep trying. People keep wondering, it's just like VR. Well, why do you keep trying VR? VR 1 failed. It only sold 5 million copies. And it's like, dude, you're never going to get to 10 million unless you fucking keep trying, right? Yeah. You keep trying these things. And that's the part of a great gaming company that's in it for gaming. You learn from your failures. You failed with one game, right? What was it? Horizon Guerrilla Games. What did they do? Look what Killzone, right? They failed with that game, so they figure out why they failed with that game.
They even failed before that. They made Shell Shock.
Yeah, absolutely. So you learn from your failures. So they said, well, the biggest complaint we got from Killzone Shadowfall is the storyline was trash and the writing and the voice acting, all that stuff was just trash. That was the biggest downfall because the graphics was good, the gameplay was pretty good, serviceable and stuff like that. So what they do at the next game with Horizon Forbidden West or whatever. Zero Dawn.
Naughty Dog next game is definitely you're gonna pay for that, especially with how Neil Druckmann talking on Kind of Funny Games and all that stuff. I don't know. Listen, I thought it was gonna be free to play at one point, but from what they're saying, it's a big expansion. It's a big game, and they're calling it. This is our next big game. That's what they're saying. This is Naughty Dog's next big game. So, I think you're going to pay for whether it's going to be $50, $60, $70. Most likely probably be $70 because, Naughty Dog got that fragrance. And let's get ready.
Now, hey, let me ask you this. Because supposedly it's going to be a PS4. It's another cross-gen game. Right?
It may be crushing. Yeah,
I think so. I think because it's definitely going to be one of the live service games.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be PS4, PS5, and PC day one.
Now here's the question I'm gonna ask y'all: how are they gonna? And this may be petty on my side, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a paid game, right, and not free to play, that means based on Sony's rule, you have to have PS Plus to play it because it's a paid game. But PC, these guys are gonna play it for free. Now that's gonna be the road, and I said this. Sony's gonna head down this road, and it's gonna piss me off. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, free to play to me is the easy answer because number one, then at that point the whole cross-gen thing loses its fight. Like, it loses its bite, right? Because since it's free to play, I got it. You're catering to the PS4 gamers. Whether you bought The Last of Us 2 or not doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If it's on PC day and day or later on, doesn't matter. And you don't need the subscription service. It completely eliminates so much stuff out the like a lot of the negativity. Like, for example, J-Dub mentioned, if this game's $70, right off the bat, you're gonna get people complaining that feel entitled to the game because it should have been part of The Last of Us 2. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen. Whether we agree or disagree doesn't matter. It's gonna go out there. It's gonna be all over the news, and there's gonna be a lot of influencers, you know, that's gonna be all over this. I would even say there's even gonna be Sony Pro, like PlayStation influencers that's gonna jump on that train because that clout chasing is too big to miss. They're gonna all want to look like the hero and feel like they're championing for the good guy. So that's a huge. It's gonna happen.
Buying it and playing it,
it's
and then making more money off the video.
Exactly. But they're gonna want those 100,000 views, super chats, and thing. Oh my God, that's what I love. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if even this dude, what's his name, Mystic, jumps on that train, right? Oh, this is why I love Mystic because he's so fair and non-biased. Yo, it's gonna be crazy if Sony goes that route. So the free to play, it could eliminate a lot of negativity right off the bat. You ain't got to worry about whether you bought the game. Hell, even if you didn't buy the game, you could still play this. So you still you technically could get even more people to jump on, right? Nobody has to talk to the point about, well, PC gamers get to play this for free. Why I got to play to play this? Well, if they, it's just so much negativity behind being a paid game. It's going to get ridiculous. Now, either way, if the game's good, I'm going to get it. It's either whatever. You see what I'm saying? You know,
I thought they talked about that before. I think it was a patent or something that came out that said that they were working on a PC launcher.
Yeah, but
a PlayStation launcher. Yeah. I know, but I'm just saying. Let's say prior to this game dropping, they say the PC. It's not going to be
successful because PC games are not. That's not going to work. They're not going to pay to play this game. It's not going to happen. So you might as well not even release it then.
Yeah,
PC gamers are not going to do it.
Also, PC gamers don't go anywhere but Steam.
Yeah, and they're not leaving Steam either.
I think if the game is good, they're gonna, not everybody obviously. There's gonna be people that are gonna be cheap and not want to buy and shit. But I think if it's a paid game, but as long as it's really good, people will buy it. And I think that.
But you think PC gamers gonna subscribe to play games online after decades?
No.
That's what I mean. Because that's what the PC launcher means. I think that's what you're trying to say, right, J-Dub? That because of the launcher, you have to now subscribe to PS4. That's not gonna work then. Exactly. Yeah. Even Kobe J's like, oh no. No,
not even.
No.
Well, in that case, the only option they have.
What PC gamers gonna do is they're gonna pirate and create their own servers. They'll do that before. Am I lying, Jay? No.
They're gonna,
they'll do that.
They're gonna boot up the first Last of Us on the PS3 emulator and then just do like a LAN online play and play like that.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Like they're not gonna pay for the subscription to play online.
Yeah,
like, PCs
that's never gonna happen.
Have put it. I mean, even Microsoft is Windows, and even they tried and they failed. They're not doing it.
They're not gonna happen. Try Celsius, that name, boy, that shit hits. Thank you for the super chat. He says, for Naughty Dog with Bungie at their disposal, setting a yearly content-rich path isn't impossible. I just want to see if they can bring a mixed MMO with single-player storytelling elements together.
I think it being a paid game, and it requiring PS Plus on PlayStation and not on PC, I don't think is that really big of a deal.
No, because most games do that these days anyway.
Yeah. Every Call of Duty is like that right now, basically. Even though it's not a first party game, but it's an example. So it's like, but to comment real quick on like the game, on like the what I think about Factions 2 or Factions the platform, is like if you play the first faction way back when you saw like all the systems that they had, even though they were kind of novel, they weren't very like flushed out, like how you can have like people in your group and you have to take care of them and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is all this stuff? Like that was cool, and it kind of gave a little bit of a history to the multiplayer and to what you're doing and what you're working towards. So it's like it sort of was like the little crumbs that they were trying to do on the PS3 era, that they didn't want to make just a part 2 of that on Last of Us 2. They wanted to take it to the next level. And I think that Factions has like not only has a lot of depth in the gameplay, but like the world and like the story and like the characters, all that other stuff. Not just the story, but just how the game looks like and how it feels to be in that world when you're playing the game. That they could do so much more, and that's what I hope that this Factions quote unquote platform will be. It's not just gonna be PvP and then have game modes. It's gonna have like, you know, like or like open world sections, and you know you can see other players, sort of MMO light. So I'm really curious to see what Sony's first like quote unquote gas game is going to be like, because they haven't really done that, you know, officially, and they're really good at making single player games, and some multiplayers like Uncharted multiplayer is fantastic. But a game that's going to be a platform where you can do multiple things, sort of like Destiny or Division 2, is very interesting, and I'm very curious to see what's going to be like.
Technically, Gran Turismo 7 is the first gas game.
Yeah, GT Sport was like that, basically.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's also that.
Technically speaking, MLB The Show is pretty much their multiplayer side of gas game, because they got the Diamond Team, Diamond Dynasty, all that bullshit.
The Negro Lead and everything.
Yeah, but I mean like a game that expands beyond like this game is centered around this.
Yes,
you know, like GT is centered around racing, and then MLB is just this. The factions can be more than just shoot each other and kill and see who does better. Like it could be way more than that.
Yeah,
like a story expansion.
It's going to be a lot of story, because from what they're saying, I feel like you definitely want to get like a story driven game, where you might have like something like Uncharted, you know, Uncharted 2, or you know, the Uncharted games where you had that co-op story based type stuff. But they might have what's it called, a battle royale in there too, because they saying this joint is a big game. It's a big expansive game.
I think the closest thing you can compare it to is Sea of Thieves, because Sea of Thieves got PvP and PvE, but they're both on the same world, and there's a multiple islands you can go to and have story bits and side missions and all this other stuff. So it's like a connected world where you can do multiple things while being with other people around you as well. And if you want to just focus on PvP alone on an arena, you can go to this island that has that. So I think that's what Factions is going to be. It's going to have the classic modes, and it's going to have this big, like, you know, open world mode where there's a lot of intricacies and game modes that happen in real time, similar to what GTA Online does for nowadays, where you're like roaming around in a group, and there's like a flare that goes up, and that flare means this event's going to happen. So you go there and want to get that loot, and you're going to find other players. You might be team up or kill each other, like on the Dark Zone or the Division, basically. So there's so many things they can do. So many things.
I'm going to be honest.
I mean,
go ahead. The Factions is probably the first, for me, is one multiplayer that I'm really, really looking forward to. Like so far this gen, really over the last couple of years, I haven't really been into multiplayer. It's just nothing. But Factions, that is just because of its uniqueness, I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope it ends up great. You know, I'm just interested, like what Jabari says, like if it's a full-fledged title, I'm just wondering then should they even bothered with the PS4 version then? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You think so?
Because it was probably developed on the PS4. Again, we've talked about this. Cross-gen isn't because of how far we are from PS5. Cross-gen is just, did we start this thing on the PS4? Okay, we're going to finish it on the PS4. So that's it. It could come out in like 2026. It will still be on PS4. Because why would you leave all that work behind, right? Also, I was going to say,
because fuck them kids. That's why. You like Jordan. Fuck them kids.
Yo, true, right? No, I was going to say, first of all, I don't think it's going to be called Factions, because I think Factions is quite a narrow idea when it, you know, in terms of what it communicates, and I think they're going for something bigger in scope. Second, I do think it will be paid, and I think that everybody that will make the noise about it will make the noise about it, and then people, if it's a good game, people will just show up. If it's a bad game, people are not going to show up anyway. It doesn't really matter.
True.
And then the third thing is that I imagine that it will have a PvE, PvEVP, and PvP component. So I think that it will be a thing where you can choose your sort of experience as to what it is that you're in the mood for that day, or what kind of player you are. So if you're the type of player that likes to get a group together and like fight monsters, there will be an avenue for you. If you're the type that likes to like fight people, there'll be an avenue for you. If you're like me and you basically just like to stay by yourself and only occasionally dabble in some multiplayer components, then there will be an area for you. So I think that's what they mean by a bigger idea, but I have no bloody clue, so just guessing.
I just hope we can invade your world, because me and Jay Barry, every time you try to play alone, we're just going to find you and fuck with you. Like, oh, you alone still, huh? Give me your cigarettes. It's just going to be, I'm excited. I'm hoping it works out. Do you think there's any chance of it coming out this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
They could with how much with how Neil Druckmann has talked so much about it, especially on that podcast that Jay Barry mentioned.
It better come out this year.
I haven't seen it.
But who's gonna buy it, Barry?
I didn't know he was on that podcast, but if he's talking about it, then like he normally doesn't really talk about a project unless it's nearby, and even then, with Last of Us 2, he didn't talk about it like that. So
who's gonna buy
it?
Who's gonna buy
it? I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance it comes out this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out next year. Okay. But at the end of the day, I don't really care yet because you haven't shown it to me yet. Like I just cannot get hyped for a game I haven't seen. So show it to me, then we'll discuss release dates and whatever.
I wanted to answer your question, P-Rock, about it being on PS4, and it's like 100% it should be and it will be because they already like, how do I say this? Like,
yo, P-Rock, check the DM. I sent the clip in there.
They've already shown
in Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter.
All right, they've already shown or demonstrated that they can push a game that can do both 1080p 30 and 900p or 720p 60 when it comes to the multiplayer. They did it with Uncharted 4, and it ran really well on the PS4. And it being built the same way that, on the same engine or slightly upgraded engine that The Last of Us 2 and the Part 1 used, I can see it easily being a 720p 60 experience on PS4.
Okay. All right.
And then the engine scaling so well, like eventually they're going to phase out the PS4. Couple more years, they're gonna be like, we're gonna stop touching the PS4 and we're gonna focus on PS5 now. Similar to the DLC for Horizon, how they were like, this is not gonna be on PS4 because
I'm so excited for that.
We wanna freaking go all in on the PS5, and Cyberpunk did the same thing.
True. Well, they're doing that with Horizon.
2 years. Yeah. So one or 2 years after Factions comes out, they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna phase out PS4 and PS4 Pro. We're gonna be PS5 only, so we can push it even crazier. And by that time,
we could do that.
By that time, most people will already be on PS5. The ones that
they could just say, you guys are not getting any more updates. We're gonna leave the servers up if you want to keep playing on PS4. But if you want to continue the journey, you're coming to PS5.
Yeah.
So
with the new updates, the new map packs, new things.
Exactly.
It's like, Destiny did that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they both did that.
Yeah,
so
Destiny did that.
Totally feasible.
When they stopped supporting the PS3 and the 360. Yep. So yeah, it's not uncommon for that. And then they were able to do more specifically for the audience.
I definitely see that happening. So it's good to as a starter. It's gonna be, let's say, $70. It's gonna be a PS4, PS5 cross-gen bundle, whatever. And so people that are on PS4, they get to play that 60, 720p, and then whenever they upgrade to PS5, they're good to go. And then in 2 years or 1 year and a half, they're gonna phase out the PS4 because it's already struggling enough, and we're gonna move on.
All right, hold on.
I don't see no problem with that.
Let me play this video that Barry presented. Let me share my screen. Thank you for the video, Barry.
Yo, call me Jay. In the meantime, you've been a terrible expert. I just wanted you to know that.
Shit. Oh, he said you failed.
You failed your assignment.
All right.
And I told you.
Hey, yo, they bothered me today, man.
He's all right. Let me see. Let me check out this video right here.
Different things, and we picked the thing we were most excited for.
And factions is somewhere in there. Not that I'm fishing. I'm not fishing. I'm just saying we're still getting factions.
The Last of Us multiplayer game is our next big title, and you will hear much more about it later this year. I'm stoked for it. It's
Same.
It's now that one's like an interesting experience for me personally because this is the first Last of Us game that I'm not the primary writer, I'm not the director, so I get to
See what you say? Writer, director.
Get more from the
in a multiplayer game,
producer role and more of a mentor role, and that to me is really exciting. And what the team has put together is so cool. And again, it's very different than what I would do because it's made by different people. But that to me is part of the exciting is to get to see other people play in this world in a leadership role, and see how it comes together. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to show it off.
No, we can't.
It's definitely not going to be called factions. J-Bar is 100% on that. He didn't even want to address it as factions. He mentioned writers and directors. There's going to be
writers and directors.
Yep.
There's going to be big story bits in this game. He says there's a lot of cool things that they're doing, so it's definitely
the thing is he confirmed there's 2 games that they're doing because there's one that he's a part of.
Yeah, because he said he's not in charge of this one. He's just mentoring. So that means he's doing a separate thing.
Yo, quick tangent. What do we want his other game to be?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of, what's the word? All right. So I don't know what the word is. There's things that I hope, but I have a feeling I already know what it is. Only because, all right. So before Last of Us came out, it was announced already. It was like their very first announcement of The Last of Us, the very first one, right? There was an interview, and I think it was Bruce Staley at the time. It wasn't Neil Druckmann. I think it was Bruce Staley while he was still there, right? It was an interview with him talking about like the growth of Naughty Dog. It was I'm not even sure if it was Bruce Staley. It was definitely one of the guys that was still there from when Sony first bought Naughty Dog. So I gotta find that article, and this was years ago, right? But it was an article. It was an interview. So the person they interviewed was still talking about pretty much when Sony acquired Naughty Dog and how that process was, what games they're going to make, what they're going to do and all that stuff, right? And he said that when they were there with the PS1, they already mapped out not the exact games they wanted to make, but the genres they wanted to hit up, and they were just waiting for the right hardware. So for the PS1, they said they wanted to do a platformer. They wanted to do like an Indiana Jones inspired, game. They wanted to do a zombie type game, and they want to do a sci-fi first person shooter. That's what they said, like from the beginning during the PS1. For the PS1, PS2, due to the hardware, they focus on platformers because they said that was generally the hot games back then. So you saw they started with Crash Bandicoot, and then Jak and Daxter. So you saw how that platform kind of evolved into Jak and Daxter. PS3 gave them the opportunity to be like, all right, now we're going to do the, Indiana Jones type game, which is now what we know as Uncharted. And then the zombie game, The Last of Us. So the only idea they have left, unless they're changing their plan, is the sci-fi first-person shooter. Now, granted, this was years ago, so they probably scratched that. But I'm saying, so far from that interview, they hit every game that they wanted to do up until the point of the zombie shooter. So I'm guessing if they're still in that game plan that they set back in the PS1, the next game potentially is going to be some type of, first-person sci-fi game. And keep in mind, we've seen comic books. What's that popular comic? Like in The Last of Us, they keep mentioning some Star game or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's like a little Easter egg. But it's like a popular sci-fi comic within The Last of Us. And if you notice, in Uncharted 4, or was it 3, I think it was the bar scene, there's a newspaper that said an outbreak is happening in this city, whatever.
Crossover.
But if you didn't notice, but I think it was more like a teaser. You can look it up on YouTube. Like those
Nathan
Drake is like in a bar. He walks up to a magazine and zooms in on a magazine, and it talks about an outbreak happening, in a certain city. You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at The Last of Us,
the next game.
Man, what's that comic book they keep mentioning? It's Starlight. Yo, J Bar, you know, man. What is it called? There's a comic book in the game.
Say what it was. Savage Starlight.
Oh, Savage Starlight. There you go. Savage Starlight. So far, there's stuff what I hope, but because I read that interview, and so far their path has exactly laid out what they originally planned on the PS1. I think their next game is going to be a first-person shooter, sci-fi game.
Yo, that sounds like music to my ears.
I don't think so.
I have been wanting a sci-fi space odyssey from a Sony first-party studio. I know that Horizon is close to that, but it's not in space. At least not yet. But I would really love a sci-fi game. I've been craving a Mass Effect kind of game. Just without it, I don't need the dialogue choices because eventually they didn't really end up like doing what I wanted them to do. But yeah, being able to go on like a space odyssey, that sounds amazing to me. So
I'm only saying that because of the interview. They could change their mind, but they literally hit what they planned, and they planned this out
right.
on the PS1. Right. I'm gonna find that article and I'll put it in the DMs for you guys.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Listen, I didn't say that's what they're gonna do. I'm just telling you what they said.
They're wrong too. They're gonna make a third-person game. It's gonna be third-person platformer. It's gonna be called Gex the Gecko.
Gex the Gecko. Gex the Gecko.
Yeah.
Trying to serve insurance fraud. Insurance scam.
They bought the IP and they're gonna bring it back, remake.
Well, not Jack and Dexter.
I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for that article. I'll look for that article. I'll look for that article, and if I find it, I'll post it on Twitter, and then I'll also put in the description box, and I'll send it to you guys.
Yo, J Barry, what should it be? The other project.
What would you like? Yes, let's do that. Let's.
The other project.
What would you like to see from them if they have a brand new project?
I would want them to do whatever. I think it was Savage Starlight.
Savage Starlight. All right.
Yeah, like I mean, it was like one of those little comic books in The Last of Us. I don't know if you guys were talking about that, but
yeah,
I would like to see them do that. But to be honest with you, truthfully, I think it's going to be Last of Us 3. It just makes more sense, especially with the TV show.
So you think if you
I think they said they're not going to do that. That's not the next game.
It could be. They could do one more Last of Us. They could be another Last of Us and then do an IP.
It's not the next one.
They could do a new IP towards the end of the PS5.
No. I think the next one is a new IP.
Oh, you think?
And then the Last of Us Part 3 should come after that because they said that. Then this project are already like in development for, and yet the Last of Us Part 3 they haven't outlined the story yet. So, logically speaking, we should expect Part 3 after the next other project.
Neo-Wise.
Yeah, I think
Neo-Wise
should be. Oh yeah, go ahead.
He said Neo-Wise with the super chat says, "I want Naughty Dog to do a high fantasy game. There was a leaked concept art before, if you remember. I do remember seeing concept art for like a fantasy game, an Elder Scrolls killer."
Well, I think that too. Fantasy and sci-fi.
Don't get me started. Because if it is a fantasy game, I'm gonna be like the Elder Scroll killer. I'm lying.
Yeah, I want Naughty Dog to like basically that. Like if they keep going with that roadmap, it's gonna be like a space game. I'm excited because for so long they've done like at least recently it's always been sort of like humans and like in planet Earth, Uncharted and The Last of Us. Even though The Last of Us has the contagions and all that other stuff, it's still sort of grounded. They try to ground it to reality. So them taking a bite off of like making something sci-fi or high fantasy is definitely exciting because they're very talented. They're like the top at what they do. They're one of the best studios ever in the whole world. So making something completely different, similar to what Guerrilla Games did. They went from first person shooters all the way to freaking RPG third person open world stuff. I'm definitely very curious, very looking forward to what they do. Hopefully it's something either the space game or something that's just high fantasy, Elder Scrolls like whatever.
Tricelsius, hold on. Tricelsius with the super chat. Tricelsius brought up a good point. He said, "I believe Corey B. Barlog teased a new project he is on through his Twitter banner, and it was supposed to be sci-fi, right? I remember. I think it was his avatar. He had like a space thing, And people were looking at like, yo, Corey, what is this? And he tried to like pass it off. But people are assuming that Santa Monica is doing
No, he's working on Starfield.
Oh, he's working on Starfield. Oh shit, yeah. My man leaving. He working on Bethesda. He want that Microsoft money. He want that Game Pass money. He want that Game Pass money. You know, that's another one. That's a good thing, right?
It's all right. Cradle goes to space.
What are you gonna say, Extreme?
I was gonna say that PlayStation Studios, I don't think they have a fantasy game, especially high fantasy. So now that'd be exciting. I mean, Demon's Souls was high fantasy, but you have the remake. So
let me ask you guys this: do you think Naughty Dog should try to go outside their box? And I mean, right now they got the third-person storytelling on lock. Do you think they should try to get out of their comfort zone, kind of like what Guerrilla did? Like, I know Guerrilla, in my opinion, it was more of a necessity. I think they had to do something different, right? Because Killzone wasn't really truly breaking out as a franchise. It was hit or miss. And I'm sorry, Bari, but, you know, Shadowfall was garbage. That shit was trash. I'm sorry. That shit, they had to do.
Oh, no, I like that game, man.
That shit, listen, man. Respectfully, as my
good.
Brother, that shit was trash. That shit had to go. That shit, they had to do something. They did.
Bro, that multiplayer was sick. The guns. If you had that headset on, it will break your audio, your speakers. The guns sounded ridiculous.
There was like 7 people playing that game.
Hey, and I had fun with 7 people.
And 2 of them was you and Jay Bari.
Nah. I was playing Killzone like in, I think it was like 2018 or 17 when what you call the first Horizon came out, and that junk was still packed. It's mad. I was getting in games easily.
Man, you were playing 3-on-3, bro. Stop it. Now I'm playing. No, but I'm gonna say this. Do you think, not out of necessity, but would you like to see Naughty Dog try something maybe like an RPG, a high fantasy RPG?
Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, PlayStation Studios has always been the best when they have done.
We'll start this. We'll start with Extreme. Would you like their next project to break out the mode, try something different in a different area, like an RPG or a sandbox?
Yo, man, even a racing game.
Hell no. Shit, you're done. I'm muting him. He said racing.
That's it.
Listen, man, muted. You're muted. You're done.
Listen. I always see greatness. I always see greatness when PlayStation Studios actually break out of the mold. Even if it's just like a game that doesn't quite work out. I always encourage new IP. I am so I'm not one of those people that feel nostalgic towards older IPs, because it's like they came, they did their thing, they were done. I'm happy with what I got, and I'm ready to move on. And when we say, I just want to clarify, when you say new, you're not talking necessarily like it has to be like a first-person perspective. You're just saying it has to just be different from what it is that they've been doing. Yeah, so in that case, fully agree. Like, I could use, like I said, sci-fi, could use fantasy, could use a racing game, could use a sports game. Like, just give me something new.
My man wants Naughty Dog to take over the FIFA license. Oh, hell no. Nah. He said Naughty Dog FIFA. They're going to make annual
Naughty
FIFA
Dog
games.
Beach volleyball.
Oh, man, he said we're going to take on EA, J-Dub. Yo, J-Dub. What is it?
Right?
Oh, shit. He want the FIFA license.
I'm going to be honest, man. I would like them to try their hands at a first-person shooter. Something different.
Okay. Take on COD. If anyone could do it, that's it. Naughty Dog's like, all right, hold my beer.
Go after the Giants. FIFA, COD, you guys are all on notice.
I want to make a quick comment on the whole COD thing, because not to go back to the whole Microsoft thing, but when they mentioned about the PlayStation can do it in 10 years, it's like EA has been doing it for decades, and they can't even do it. They can't come close. Amongst others that have tried and failed as well. It's like
they ain't got Naughty Dog though.
Close to COD.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a joint venture between Naughty Dog and Insomniac.
Don't put ideas on Naughty Dog. Let them focus on Gex the remake, and then they can do whatever they want.
What about you, Bari?
Remake.
It sounded like you were like, whoa.
I know, right?
Whoa, Bari was like, hold on. He said, y'all not gonna buy it anyway. He said, y'all ain't gonna buy it. You want Naughty Dog to make a new game? You ain't gonna buy it.
They're not gonna buy it.
Well, what do you think? Would you like to see Naughty Dog? You know,
they gonna be like, yo, Naughty Dog create an RPG, and they don't buy that shit. Nah, I want to see Naughty Dog do what they do, and what they're well at is like semi open world, that Marvel universe within PlayStation.
Ooh.
because Insomniac already alluded to be the New York character like Daredevil or Punisher.
Thank you.
And have Naughty Dog create that.
Yes,
you want them to take a Marvel game.
Bro, you see?
Yeah, create this Marvel universe. They trying to. PlayStation said it in that Wolverine announcement, that blog. They're creating a Marvel games universe in there. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to have only Insomniac create these Marvel games. You know what I mean? So.
Yo, Jay Barry, icing on the cake, brother. Icing on the cake. Like, dude, you see the dismemberment on freaking The Last of Us 2 and how the bodies break apart? And then you think of that original Punisher game on the PS2, how badass it was. Imagine that with The Last of Us 2 engine. Oh, bro, that's gonna be insane.
And Neil Druckmann did say officially he would love to do a Punisher game. He did say that. He personally said that.
That'd be cool.
He would love to do a Punisher game.
The story is there to make it very emotional and very heavy, and then the gameplay is freaking there, bro.
And
that
shoot
guy's
the shit out of people.
Yeah,
like,
there's no spaceships and there's no dragons.
Just like, like the beginning of the Big Pun album. Bam, 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 bam. Yo, just bam, bam. You ever heard the Punisher album? Capital Punishment. Bam, bam, bam. Yo, that's a good one, Barry. Oh, my man said, really break out the Punisher, Marvel Punisher. Ooh, I'm telling you. Oh, yo, can you just imagine like a teaser? And I know Comey J hates teasers, but you see Marvel's Punisher, and then you see the Naughty Dog symbol.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that'd be fire.
Microsoft be like, see, this is why we need to buy Activision.
honestly, dude, that teaser would be sick. That teaser would be sick. Like in the Wolverine, you see a guy trying to beat up Wolverine before you find out that it's actually Wolverine. In this, I can sort of picture someone in the dark being just punched in the face, bleeding, telling, "Please stop," whatever the fuck. And then, he kills him. And then when the camera turns around, you just see the chest with the freaking skull. Boom, that's it.
Or you just you just see the chest and skull. And then you hear the theme song. Like, oh, shit. At that point, Phil Spencer's going to be like, Jesus Christ, now I got to buy Disney. Because Phil's gonna be like, hey, Satya,
that's what it is.
We gotta acquire Disney because we need Marvel.
Spencer's a stupid ass bitch.
Sony's taking all the Marvel properties.
Spencer is a stupid ass bitch.
He's not. Listen,
he's doing his.
I don't give a damn.
He's taking. What's up?
I got a question to ask you, Portero. I don't know if you already went over that topic about the
Brother man, hold up. You jumped in. You got to be part of the topic we're talking about, and the topic is Naughty Dog. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So the question. So we got Call Me Jay. Did you answer the question? You got what you said what you would like to see from Naughty Dog?
Yes.
Gex. All right, Gex.
Yes.
All right.
Punisher. Who wants that? Nobody's gonna buy
Jay
that.
Barry wants Punisher.
Disgusting.
Jay Barry.
Gecko.
He wants Gecko. Jay Barry wants the Punisher Extreme. He wants Hi-Fi Fantasy or sci-fi.
No, he wants.
He wants to take the FIFA license.
Yeah.
Take over the FIFA license. All right, Uses. What would you like to see out of Naughty Dog? Just keep doing what they're doing, same shit, or would you like them to see something, break out of their shell? Try something.
It's a game where you beat up.
I want them to bring their classical games that I used to play.
Oh fucking no.
Like Dragon Daxter, my guy, man. But they can continue on doing what they're doing.
This guy.
They can continue on doing what they're doing. But also, I wanted to ask you, do you think the multiplayer?
This guy, he said, yeah, Dragon Daxter. Now to my question. He said, yeah, Dragon Daxter, whatever the fuck. I need this question answered, Porter Rock. What is it? What's your question? My man's hurting. And I'm telling you, and don't let the chat flame you, because they beat your legs in last week. They beat the shit out of y'all. Yo, I had E-Police call me.
He's like, yo, whatever the fuck. Anyways.
The chat laid a chalk line on the sidewalk. There was chalk line on the pavement, and it said, here lies Uses. Yo, they beat the brakes out of you.
They do all that talking.
Like, relax.
Me,
all right,
man.
So relax, bro, because they mouth watering right now. They waiting for you to hear. They'd be like, yo, do something. Go ahead. What's your question?
So do you think the multiplayer will release next year, early 2024? Because I feel like due to the history of how Sony, released their game and it's like well quality done, I feel like 2024 early will be the best time to drop it.
I really don't know. The only thing I could think of is potentially the factions, we're just going to call it codename factions until they reveal whatever the true name is. But Project Factions, I think there's potential we might have it this year, only because they probably want to feed off the show. Because the show has done wonders for the remake. It went back up into the charts. And I think it's a good way to keep feeding that energy. If they release it next year, I mean, it's fine, whatever. But it's like almost a year off from the show and the momentum, you know. And they just released the PC version's coming out soon, right?
Yep.
When the PC version comes out, it's like in a couple
weeks.
It's
the 24th.
Yeah. So you see, so there's like a little momentum to build on. If the game doesn't come out this year, not the end of the world, but they lost that momentum.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that I'm like 60-40 with it's going to release this year. Depending on what information Druckmann talks about specifically, will either raise my anticipation to say that, it's definitely come out this year. But I would say for what it is now, the show really got everybody's eyes on the franchise. The PC version is coming out soon, which means now PC gamers for over the next month, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. I guarantee. They're gonna be like, "Yo, this is amazing." And guess what? They don't get. They don't get the multiplayer. Right? Obviously, they got the PS3 one, right, or whatever emulator, right? But an actual good, solid one, they're gonna be like, "Yo." You know, in the beginning, they might complain, they should have came with the multiplayer, meaning there's gonna be fever for the multiplayer. So you see, all this is feeding to that, right? If they release the game, the multiplayer next year, that shit just cool down. You're talking about a whole year of nothing. Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty comes out, Starfield comes out, Spider-Man comes out. It would just completely erase, all that hysteria.
Do you actually think that PC gamers are going to show for The Last of Us Part 1?
I think for the demographic, so far, PC gamers have been buying the PS games. Returnal, I know some people are going to say not a lot of PC gamers bought it, but at the same time, not a lot of PlayStation games bought it either. So I think it's in line.
People really liked Days Gone on PC, so it's pretty much on the same.
Too.
People on PC, not me, but people on PC like strategies and survival games and shit like that, and hardcore games. So like,
don't they literally what is that word? They literally look down upon like cinematic experiences.
No, not even.
No, they don't.
I'm gonna tell you this. Have you not seen? Have you not seen the shit they try to sell? Have you not seen the games they try to sell?
Bro,
all this huge cinematic experience, and you're like, holy shit! Then when you play, it's a top-down little midget simulator. You're like, this ain't the trailer that you showed me. Like, what the fuck is this? I hate that shit about PC gaming. Yo, they showed the most beautiful trailers of fighting, and they're like, yo. Then when you play, it's like 1,000 midget men.
That's League of Legends right there.
Like 1,000 of them of just doing this. And you're like, this is the biggest false advertisement I've ever seen in my life.
The biggest games on PC when they come out has been like stuff like Cyberpunk, The Witcher, Skyrim, like those types of games, Fallout. And they've sold more on PC than they have on consoles. Those games specifically.
And Witcher started out on PC exclusively. Witcher's exclusive.
But I feel like when it comes to like Elder Scrolls and Skyrim and everything, those games,
they're not the same.
Even though they have a story, it's not really about the story.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, Porter, read that super chat.
Yeah, I say the thing about PC gamers more than anything, they want a good quality build. I think that's what they respect the most. That a developer put in the time to optimize for PC. They love the features, the capability to select settings. I think Sony's have done a good job with that. From what I'm seeing from PC gamers, every time a PlayStation game comes on PC, they're really impressed with how well they optimize. It's not very buggy. Primary PMS Jordan, because she'll criticize the shit out of any game. Yeah. And she's generally impressed with the build, the PC versions of PlayStation games they release. She generally says that they're pretty well optimized and they're generally of good quality. In terms of
the biggest complaints that PC gamers had about PlayStation games, those type of games, is that they weren't on PC.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I don't want to buy a PlayStation 4. I got a freaking 1080 Ti, 2080 Ti. What the fuck am I going to play at 30 FPS? Now that they're coming, they're like, okay, let me try it. Oh, it's actually good. It runs well. It's optimized. Okay, fuck yeah, dude, let's do it.
Okay, listen, guys. If you're right, I stand corrected.
Well, you've seen they done. I think now if you're trying to if you're making a point, will it sell better than a console? Then no, it's not. It's none of the yeah, none of it. But I think generally they do good enough for PlayStation to make some coin and get. I think
it's going to be interesting because for years now people have been able to play the original one through the emulator. Not anybody has a capable PC to do it, but like it's one of the main like top games on that emulator, you know. So it's gonna be interesting to see how many people buy it that played it there, or that versus people that just held off and haven't touched it until now.
All right, listen, guys, I'll keep a look on.
You read that super chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it right now. Neowise is asking, you think Last of Us multiplayer will have a beta this year and release next year?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just think about it, man. You know how dope PlayStations are when they release their game.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm hoping it releases this year. I'm hoping.
Uses that question that he asked you, P-Rock, like it was a really good question because you brought up some points, P-Rock, about how we have the TV show. We're gonna get the remake on PC as well. Like the pan is hot as frick right now.
The momentum's on fire now for The Last of Us.
If they wait till next year, even early next year, that's gonna get a little less hot. You're not gonna be able to cook that steak that well. So like if you come out with,
think Spider-Man's already gonna be well done?
No, but that has nothing to do with one or the other.
It's gonna be it's gonna be separate.
Think about it. You just finished the show, which a lot of people are talking about it. Now the game is coming out on PC. Like PlayStation already had the game. Then the show comes out. Because of the show, people who are new to the show are now playing.
Yeah, they're gonna want to play the game.
So now they're playing the game. So now you got a new group of people that be like, "Yo, I'm playing the game. I love it." Now you introduce the game to PC gamers. Now they're like, "Oh, this shit is fire." Now, a month or two later, we dropping the multiplayer. Now, all that momentum is shifting towards the game. If you release the game next year, by the time next year comes, you got the summer momentum. Starfield comes out. Spider-Man comes out. The new Call of Duty,
guys,
Madden.
honestly,
so much shit comes out that, you lost traction.
I think The Last of Us is a hot product. As long as they advertise
I'm just waiting for that
as long as they market it, I think they can drop. Users, you talk then.
I'm just waiting for that exclusivity multiplayer. And now, do you think that
it's going to PC
will compete with Halo Infinite?
Listen. Let me tell you something. Sometimes comparing it to another person, comparison is the killer of joy. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you just don't even worry about Xbox at this point. They got their own problems.
The reality with Infinite is that it's competing with itself right now.
Yeah, right now it's just trying to outdo
itself.
It's got its own shit.
I
ain't worried about it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy Last of Us for what it is, and hopefully it hits. If it doesn't hit, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna be like, yo, this shit's Killzone Redux. What are we doing here, Barry?
Eustace brought a good point though. Like he's right about. I think it's gonna come out this year, and not because of the TV show or anything like that. It's because Xbox dropped Hi-Fi Rush out of nowhere, and PlayStation is crying. They're like, "Fuck, we gotta put this game out."
Now he's on Xbox. There you go.
Xbox mode. I like this.
There you go. He went into Xbox mode.
Bro. Starfield.
Right now, you were running with a D- in the grayscale.
You can only do it for about 30 seconds at a time.
We're about to make E4 Extreme the permanent Xbox resident.
Redfall is coming out. It's coming in hot. All right. If Redfall comes out first, nobody's gonna play that shit, bro. Redfall's on Game Pass. It's free.
That's a good question. Why isn't there an Xbox representative here? Like, why do we have to take place for them?
Okay. So listen. So that's a good question. So last gen, I had all types of Xbox guys come through. In fact, my first guest was an Xbox dude, right? But they went so far extreme that unless you are willing to lick Phil's booty, they're probably not gonna come through. There's a few guys that will come through, right? And they're not really the Xbox guys, right? So I know a couple of guys that will definitely come through and rock out and have a serious conversation. But for the most part, they are so into the Kool-Aid that any association with me or anybody else will look bad on their reflection.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only a few guys. There's only a few guys willing to do. It's just that's how bad. I'll give you an example. I went on Game On Daily show. Guys and A's are great guys, right? But because I was on their show, they caught a huge flack just for me being there. And I didn't say anything disrespectful. Like, when I'm on the people's platforms, I'm 100% respectful to their platform and to their audience. I'm not going to go in there and be like, haha, I'm going to destroy Xbox. I stay straight. I'm very respectful to other people's content because, that's their content and, that's their shows. They put effort into that. So I'm not going to disrespect other people's work and stuff like that. But just me existing, there's people who he caught flack for that. Just for me just being on the show. Not because if I said anything wrong or did anything. No. Just me being a guest, period, was not acceptable. Some people said, yeah, I'm not watching the show because Puerto Rock's on it. That's how bad it's gotten on that side. That's how literally bad it is on that side of the house. It's that bad. It's that personal for them.
Call me just you, man.
No, hold on. So Extreme. That's a really good and important question, Extreme, because right now we have over 300 people in here watching. Hit the like button, first of all, and second of all, the panel is open. Anybody can join in and start talking and express themselves.
Yeah, I haven't said that in a while.
Their thoughts out. Yeah, so all you people in the chat, all you have to do is ask to get invited to the Discord channel. And I don't know why P-Rock hasn't put the Discord on the description, but I'm sure he will eventually.
No, well, I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful. I gotta vet people.
Okay.
I gotta vet people. Okay. I vet people. You know what I'm saying? Like what was it? The other dude, Justin, I think his name was. I had to be careful. He didn't have a Twitter. I'm like, wait a minute. This is spooky. Okay. So I gotta be careful. But
it's like if you want to jump in and just chat with us or like bring your thoughts forth to all the people here watching us, like just request and just come on in, man. Like the more the merrier. That's how I started.
Come in, man. They don't got no good mics. They don't, you know what I mean? They got a worse list than me.
Man. But I'm saying, it's true. I haven't said that in a while. I haven't said that in a while, too. That is a good point. That's how Jay came on here. And I said, yo, hop on. I sent him the link, and now look, he's here almost all the time, which I'm really appreciative of that. I'm open to almost anybody. Just I have no issues with people coming on, the podcast and have an opposite view. Just be respectful and don't come in with the purposeful mindedness to mess stuff up. This is your opportunity to be like, hey, Puerto Rock, this is how you should look at it. Ain't no problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you disagree respectfully.
I mean, hell, I got uses up in this motherfucker. So that's going back. Like, yo,
going back to the topic of the Last of Us.
I got uses up in this motherfucker, so that should tell you.
Just one more thing. Just one more thing I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? If uses could get here, you guys are good. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing.
Put respect on my name.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Put some respect. Google me. He's like, you better Google me, Puerto Rock. You know what I'm saying? But what you saying, Extreme? Extreme 2.
One more thing.
Right? Same thing with you.
Oh yeah. Listen, you were wrong. I had to correct you.
Man,
everybody loved it.
Get out of here.
So, anyways, I was going to
a good episode.
The Rock is
that was a
great episode.
The Rock
I was there. It's always great when I'm here. So, I was going to say about The Last of Us that I think it's got a full tank of gas. I understand that the heat could chill if they were to chill like 18 months, a year, even more. Yeah. But I just think it's just like in the cultural zeitgeist, it has broken that threshold where it's like as soon as you announce a new Last of Us thing, people will pay attention from now on. So especially because I believe this time around, Sony will actually market this the same way they market God of War or Spider-Man. So yeah, as soon as they say like, hey people, The Last of Us multiplayer is out, people will be like, all right, cool. Where is it? How do I get it? How much do I pay? Because yes, since I'm not the resident Xbox for the day, I'm going to encourage people to pay to play games, especially quality games. So pay your money, play the game. That's how it is.
All right. So we're going to shut this short because I know it's late for some of y'all on the East Coast and stuff like that. So we're going to give you a shout out. So we're going to start with Call Me Jay. Do your outro.
As always, thank you for having me. And the podcast is really fun every single time. Please hit the like, please subscribe, put the bell so that you know when we go live again, and if you ever want to watch me play video games on live stream, you can go to my Twitch, call me J360, and just hit the follow, and that's it. Whenever I go live, you'll get it, you'll join, you'll be like, you suck. All right, cool.
Oh shit,
thank you.
Barry's saying ain't nobody want to watch you play games. Ain't nobody play games here. Ain't nobody watch games. Anybody no buy games. Nobody plays.
Nah, they'll watch the game.
Oh, they'll watch a game. Oh, they'll watch. Gotta have something to talk about in spaces.
They put that review out quick. It was like,
And they review it. And they gotta review it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Oh
but
shit.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
No problem, man. Thank you so much for coming through. My boy Bari, part of the dynamic duo of the best PlayStation podcast every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Let them know, my brother.
Yeah, man. My bad. Just had some phone calls.
I know the booty calls. The snow bunnies. Got to tend to the snow bunnies. Got to tend to the flock.
It's bad. P-Rock funny as hell. But nah, man. Yo, this had a lot of great topics on here, man. Yeah, NFTs is definitely something that's invading gaming, and we got to be careful with that. But
gamers love it. They're gonna buy it.
But gamers gonna love it, man. Resident Evil 4.
We didn't get to talk about it. Yeah, but
has horrible dialogue, but nobody would talk about it.
And bad controls on Xbox, but nobody's gonna say nothing.
Oh yeah, the dead zone, right?
The dead zone.
Yeah, man. But yo, guys, this Saturday, What's Up PlayStation Podcast. We're doing our giveaway, stream for the members, and we got stuff for subscribers as well. Also, this Saturday, Chuck and Stone, they're going to be hosting a fight night event. So if you guys want to see some fighting games, from Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, and DNF Duel, definitely come on through to Plus on Block Podcast. Yeah, he's right there in the chat right there.
Let us know. Hit the link, man. Put the link in the chat. Or send it to me again, man. Let us know, man. So we can promote that.
It's gonna be right after WUP, so it's gonna be like around, I want to say like 2:00, and then they're gonna start the event. So it's for charity as well, because all the proceeds is going towards the Child Mind Institution. So it's for a good cause, but we're gonna have some fun, fighting, and I'm participating as well, man. So make sure I come through.
All right. Shout out to my brother-in-law Dizzo. He's in the chat. He's saying Diablo 4 this weekend. Woo woo. He became PC. He abandoned PlayStation. He became PC overlord now. My man rocking whatever system he done. I'm like, oh man, we lost a good one, man. Rest in peace to the former PlayStation guy Dizzo. He will always be remembered. I played. Oh shit. Uses.
Hey man.
Let him know.
All I gotta say is this, man. Portera is one funny content creator. Along with it as well too, right? I ain't gonna let his fans troll me. I love his fans to death.
They beat your legs in, man.
But I want to let
they had you looking like this dude.
Nah, not me. But I want to let y'all know this, man. I'm currently on my Nintendo grind because I need a break from PlayStation. I've been leaving my Nintendo game on the dust, so I'm on the grind on that.
So what you playing? What you playing on Nintendo?
Right now, I'm playing Splatoon 3, Mario Party, and I just pick up that Kirby Adventure Deluxe game. I'm on my Nintendo grind. I got to put some more content out there.
But you
and
gaming,
to let y'all know, I am not an X-bot. I fucking hate Phil Spencer. I'm ride or die, PlayStation all day, and me and Porter Rock can keep fighting back and forth about bringing Jack and Daxter back because
you say me and Porter Rock? Me? Whoa.
How can I say it? I was a jit.
I included
when
this.
Jack and Daxter was around, when it was in his prime.
Hold on.
You guys.
I ain't signed those enlistment papers. Whoa.
All I gotta say is this, man. I love you guys.
All right,
no disrespect to any of you guys. You guys are funny as hell.
The chat did body slam.
The gecko.
The chat did tombstone. You know what I'm saying? They beat.
Nah, they ain't tombstone nobody.
They tombstone power drive your ass. Oh shit!
I'm still alive, baby.
I was afraid. I was afraid I had to serve a sentence. I was like, oh shit.
Also, I did understood your question. It's just where I was at, Porter Rock, I wasn't able to actually hear.
My man, the chat flew off the top rope. And they did. I'm like, oh man, this is bad.
The chat went after you so much. They went after me for encouraging you.
Yeah, man. They said this whole chat. I'm telling you, this chat's ruthless, bro. I'm like, yo, this chat's gonna. I'm like, you on your own, dog. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Extreme.
I can't be on your team no more. I can't be on your team no more.
Extreme,
before I get to me, Jay Barry, when's another Speak from the Heart, man?
Oh yeah, I love those Speak from the Hearts.
Oh, nah, Speak from the Heart. I'm not sure. I just go with a win with that. I schedule it with the heart. But I'm doing a giveaway stream tomorrow though for like members and subscribers. So I might just have like random little topics here and there with it.
Because my first foray into this whole internet thing was with Speak from the Heart. So I've been missing it, man. Like I've got a lot of things to get off my chest. You know, I want to speak from the heart too. Please do it for the people.
Like, but Jay Barrios was like one of the first PlayStation guys I was watching. And I'm like, yo, this guy knows what he's talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like Jay Barry in the beginning, he was the source of like the niche Japanese games, because, you know, due to lack of advertisement, which I think is a shame from the publisher, you know, nobody really knows these games, right? Because, you know, the big AAAs always overwhelm them. But I would look at Barry's channel and I'd be like, oh snap, this looking good. I'm gonna copy it, you know. And so far, most of his suggestions were good, man. Like I beat Valkyrian Elysium because of Barry. Barry showed it. I'm like, yo, this looks good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
that's the thing.
Barry always shows.
A lot of people don't show gameplay no more, man. Yeah. They say games suck or this game is trash, but they want to show you why it sucks or why it's trash. You know what I'm saying?
They saw somebody else play it, or they got it from Metacritic.
Yo.
All right, but anyway, Extreme, give me a shout out, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for being here every week. It's always a pleasure to be on the panel to talk games with all of you. Jay Barry, please never forgive this community. Please never change. In fact, become more evil and recruit Jack Move, Black Bond. I want a Sinister Six. You know, Persona, you nearly got him in the team. You know, I need more of you guys to just hit on this community as much as you can.
And just join forces. Fair. Just join forces. All right.
Nah, this game, my man Ghostface said it's never a game I didn't like. Now, this game I definitely don't like. But like, yo, I personally feel like
they just so happen to be they just so happen to be on Xbox.
Nah, even Xbox, even the Xbox game people trash. Like, look, remember people got at me for bleeding ass?
Oh, yeah.
Bleeding edge?
You liked it. He did.
I like bleeding edge.
He did. When Barry said he liked bleeding edge, I'm like, yo, this guy's trying to get Xbox subscribers on his channel. I'm like, yo, shit's running down. Yo, he down bad. I'm like, yo,
real talk, Barry, you're too forgiving on games, man. You like too many games that are just crap.
I'm not forgiving. Yo, I tell you, I play games much differently than people, man. I just don't scroll over the typical press square and triangle. I get deep into it. You know what I mean? That's why I showcase a lot of shit.
If you like it, I love it, man.
Yo, yeah, there you go. If you like it, I love it. When my man say he like Bleeding Edge, I'm like, yo, Barry's channel must be down bad. My man's trying to get whatever subscribers he can get at this point. He's scrapping on the bottom.
The Xbox dudes packed me up. They was like, nope, don't listen to him. He's a PlayStation fan.
Yeah, we don't believe this ass. Like, that was too... Like, you could at least say Rise or Quantum Break, but Bleeding Edge? Even the Xbox dudes are like, what?
I like Rise too. I think Quantum Break is cool too. I like Xbox games too, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of games I feel like people don't really explore into stuff. They just go by they scrape by and like, yeah, this game is trash without giving that game really a try. You know what I mean? I don't get it. There's times where I be like, yo, people be asking me questions and I'm like, damn, you didn't like pay attention to tutorial? They're like, oh no, fuck that. I'm like, yeah, that's why you having a hard time.
No, that was Kids Move on Eternal. He's like, wait, I've got to read.
I gotta read this shit. Oh shit. Oh, that was
Kids Move. Oh my god, it was like, hilarious.
Oh my god.
Like, why am I getting hit every time I reload? It's like, this is Parasite. What?
Yo, my god. And yo, that dude literally put on the Parasite and killed himself. I'm like, oh my god, he didn't read the warning. Yo.
Oh man.
Yo, it's funny. Anyway, hey, to the chat, thank you so much for rocking out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification. You know what to do. See you guys again next week, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. for another 60 frames no lag. We'll see what other crazy ass topics we'll get next week, but I'll see you there. All right, you guys take care. Peace. Alrighty then.
Hit the like button, as they say. Oh man, we need someone from Xbox, man. Hey, how come your brother doesn't come on?
Who? Oh no, cause I think he does a podcast with a guy. He does a podcast on Tuesdays with